Alrighty then, gamers. Good early evening to all of you. Hope everyone's had a productive fighting game week. And even if not, well, strap in for now, because things are about to get spicy out here in just a bit. If this is your first time here, you are now watching Bounty Hunters FT7. We are basically a weekly show match event open to everyone, all the way from beginners to the very top talent of the community. And the name of the game tonight is, as per usual, Guilty Gear Strive First to 7 Wins. I'm your usual host, Kyuke, and without further stalling, let's move on to check out our matches for tonight. So tonight consists of a couple of new DLC matches. We've got 2 Slayer players, of course Hoplan keeping up the Slayer representation for Xth week in a row, but also Ehmu circling back to participate on Slayer since the DLC release week madness. A couple of high-level Anji matches looming at the end of the card. Decoy versus Spades, Control versus Craziness, and then Poke versus Matiibo. Some of the finest coming out of Germany and Finland. Poke and Matiibo here. Of course, I'll be a bit biased since I am a Matiibo fangirl. Perhaps one of the most entertaining players, for me personally at least, to watch. And for all the right reasons, in my opinion, as well. We're not talking about any kind of absurd high-risk plays. We're talking about that good old on and off the court, straight fundamentals. No funny business. Although a matchup versus Anji, there's always gonna be a bit of funny stuff going on. It's sort of a given. A Bedman mirror of all things as well on the menu. It's gonna be interesting to see if we actually manage to run that one, because this would basically be East Coast versus UK connection match. So hoping for all the best from the Lords of the Internet. I think the guys didn't manage to do a proper connection test even, perhaps. I don't know. Let's not curse it. Let's hope everything will be okay, and routing will be perfect as per usual in real life. Speaking of perfect routing, I believe Hoplan and Worst will have to hope for a little bit of luck as well in that regard, since Worst is currently connecting from, is it Montenegro, I believe, on a little bit of a travel spree, I hear. Also in the menu, we've got Keturin Geo versus Horizon Milia. Both players still looking for that shiny W on Bounty Hunters. Horizon especially has had a couple of, rough matches in a row. Twice a week running into, or twice in a row running into the Slayer matchup, which is quite brutal for the Pixie characters, to say the least. Matiibo the turtle? The turtle? What do you mean? Let's see. Let's actually give the players of the first matchup slot a shout to hop on, because we are nearing the go time. So the first of this week would be Maria Nagayuki, representing Norway. Gonna go up against Vlink, a chip from Spain. I think Maria just woke up like an hour ago, so welcome to the world among the wakeful ones, straight into the mouth of the beast here. We've got a precision matchup to be played versus that chip Xanath. Yeah, one of those matchups, kind of akin to what are good other comparisons. We've had Gold Lewis versus Jacko, Gold Lewis versus Chip, Gold Lewis versus Chip probably rather similar. It's gonna be Nago, slower character, harder hitting character, trying to swat the fly out of the sky. But Chip is a relatively difficult fly to swat at, especially because, you know, Nagoriyuki is one of those characters with very long recoveries on his pokes. So like heavy buttons will be relatively easily whiff punished, because the whiff punish potential on this character Chip is quite high. But you gotta only hit it once. You get one combo. If you got blood to burn, should probably be at least half of Chip's HP, and then you can probably play for the last hit after that. There's like one touch into a guess. But Chip just has so many different ways of moving around. We're talking about the fastest run speed in the game. We've got the unique feature of being able to triple jump in the air. Got all different sorts of trajectories. From the jumps, jump 2K, a very traditional, well, not traditional dive kick, but a drop kick would that be? Usually dive kicks approach at like a 90 degree angle. No, not 90 degrees, more like 45 degree angle downwards. Chip jump 2K just goes straight down. It's kind of like a drill kick. Very good at you know, completely halting your momentum and going downwards. Then we of course have, I guess that downwards alpha blades would be more of a traditional dive kick functions, although they of course are you know, a little different from traditional dive kicks, offering Chip, you know, different trajectories to escape corner or to tag the opponent cross up, stuff like that. All right, we got Maria in the lobby as well, fresh of emergency warm-up. Now Link, let's see, how is Blink's record on bounty hunters as of recent? We had Blink a couple of weeks ago. It was against was it against Daysin? But if memory serves correctly, Blink has been doing pretty okay. It's like not too many losses, not too many wins, fairly even matches as well. But the speculation time is over, and now it's time to jump into it. Maria, of course, extremely entertaining in the way of flashy plays, momentum shifts, lots of comebacks on bounty hunters as well. And we could potentially be looking for another one of those here if Maria has just barely gotten herself out of bed. It might take a couple of matches to, you know, get the adrenaline pumping, and what better way to get your adrenaline pumping than being locked down in the corner by this character. Finds a really good 6P though, and the super jump out of the corner. Very nice, able to flip the position here. But look at this Chip. As soon as Chip can take air, it's not a big deal for you to flip position either, with those triple jumps and getting out of the opponent. But however, look at this. That was a couple of touches. Out of that 6 speed, the Maria was able to get in that left corner. Just a small hit. Speaking of those 6 Ps, Link using the burst here to maintain the corner position. And is it pretty good when you actually do manage to get Nagoriyuki pinned in the corner while he still has blood to spend? Usually, many other characters would have to, you know, fight for that precision, fight, stall, try to make Nagoriyuki spend blood before, you know, you manage to mount any sort of kind of pressure. But Chip is quite good at neutral, quite good at skipping neutral, quite fast at approaching, you know. It's like, what, 20 frames or less, and you might be in this position. But then, I mean, 20 frames or less, and you might flip the position and be RPSing for your life, or rather, or for the opponent's life. The wire seal, plus 10 into some more. We got so much fresh blood. A couple of special moves used. Maria should be around at half blood right here, so not taking too much damage even if the hit finds its mark. Although, of course, instead of the damage Chip's sort of power comes from the flow and the potential out of the... Ooh, that was actually a 2k Xodeka counter. There was a full risk bar cranked. Although out of that 2k, probably not the... Ooh. Alright. Got an OTG and a snipe with a jump D there from Maria. That tool, you know, definitely belongs in the category of lots of recovery, but is probably one of the fanciest tools that Maria and or Nago players in general can pull out against Chip Sanif to try to access the side of the screen that not many other characters can access to. You know, if there's a little bit of distance between you and the character, often enough, many characters just don't have a move that can reach that far to begin with. Alright, good DP here. A little dangerous, especially when Nagoriyuki players have the 50 meter, because there's of course that very common option select bar //. Maria is so close to popping, of course, did the math perfectly. As per usual, bar // blink, not willing to press this time. The bar // sequence is quite minus. It will be Maria who's reversing out of this situation this time. Of course, the higher the blood pressure goes, the more tempting that reversal super can start to get during your opponent's pressure, because it will sort of fix your blood problems in a way as well. Right, 2k 2D flipping, ooh, running right in front of Maria, but no response this time. Of course, we're talking about Nagoriyuki, a character who doesn't have the best buttons for close range pressure. Generally, the power for Nago comes from 5k ranges, K button ranges, especially that 5k, the Nightless 5k, which is one of the better archetypes of moves in Guilty Gear Strive, I should say. Now, heading into the last round here, both players with their burst gauges full. Maria got that 6B off. Nagoriyuki's 6B a little slower than many others, but it has a very good hitbox, so you tend to... Oh, but the backwards Fukyo baiting the YRC here, and now Vlink will have no defensive resources to play with whatsoever. However, Maria did stop the pressure there for a second, allowing Vlink to zoom out of the corner. Maria has a lot of resources here. The big counter hit, though, cancels into the clone, though. I think that was meant to be a pressure extension. Wasn't expecting to get that big counter hit. Maria with 100. This is dangerous. And she has... Oh, but got there before Maria's button went off. It was actually pretty important here. Now on the other side, would this hit behind their back? Of course it hit! What are you saying? Of course it hits! Dirty Nago Super. Although, to be frank, there was not a whole lot of distance between the characters there, so technically Vlink was basically inside of Maria's model there, so the hitbox is very likely to clash with each other. And of course, the move that is on input frames will usually come out victorious in those exchanges. Right, finds a 2k out of the corner. We're choosing to burn here. Not a side switch, but after, of course, Mr. Zanif has the corner carry capability from most of the combos. 5k pressure. This is the kind of pressure that is the premium chip kind of pressure. Whenever you manage to get into that 5k range or k button range as chip, you have a lot of really good options as far as stagger pressure goes, cancels, frame traps, you name it. Right, clean around here for Vlink. And a lot of the successful chip rounds will have to be relatively clean, because we're talking about that one hit, gets out there, Maria misses a button on the way down and getting punished. Won't have those burst resources for a while, so Vlink... Oh, look at that range on the DP! Blue RC, probably meant for YRC, but will happily take that blue kind here, as Maria did miss their quotation needy command grab. Looking for one more hit. This is a hard knockdown. Zip to the other side, has to use this burst. And just like that, it's literally, it's like 15, 20 frames, 30 frames, and you got chip on you. The neutral RPS usually tends to be, is like you can't really react to chip dashing in and pressing a button on you. Is usually you would have to, well, of course, depends on the range, but generally we are talking about, you know, preemptive kind of a read. You have to put a button out there to be able to stop chip from, you know, just running in and committing. Now we are probably gonna lose one round here, as we got that age-old problem. But this is very early into the set, so fear not. We're probably not gonna lose any super important matches here. Oh, I actually think Maria did know this. Yeah, at least she said rematch bug, so we could get a quick circle back here. No, I think they're actually playing. All right, we'll let the players play. And we are gonna jump back into the 5th match then. We're gonna make Chip Nation proud. I hope so. So far, looking so good. There has been a lot of back and forth kind of rounds. Vlink had that, especially in the previous game, that extremely dominant first round. If you manage to pull those off, it's, like I said earlier, against Nagoriyuki, who is basically supposed to be the most explosive, the most... I think it's not a hot take to say that Nagoriyuki is probably the best character in the game at the start of the round, because he basically starts with all of his resources. What I mean by that is the blood gauge is open and you can spend so many special moves that are just, for the most part, like uncontestable for a lot of the cast. So being able to start every single round with, you know, full blood or like empty blood bar makes it extremely difficult for just about any character to approach you right from the get-go. But Chip, you know, as we're saying, whiffing anything against Chip is extremely dangerous. That kind of dynamic makes it kind of hard for Nago to justify, you know, not just pressing a normal, but also blood burning. You know, you do from a far range situation, like full screen situation, you spend Beyblade, spend like 0.6 points of blood, or bars of blood, and if you miss with that, you're like, that's a massive RPS loss, is it not? Not only are you missing that blood now, but you're missing on Chip Xanath, and is probably gonna whiff punish you for that, even though Beyblade is quite fast on recovery comparatively. Right, so I think Maria got that win here, and we're ready to flip this back to rematch and enter the fray once again. All right, from 3-1 position here, favoring Maria. A potential first turnaround spot here early into the first matchup of Bounty Hunters. If Maria gets a win here, it's going to be a big advantage going on for the rest of the set, and Vlink will have to work pretty hard to be able to bring that disadvantage back. But looking so far so good. Both players have spent a lot of resources, but Vlink is gonna now have those resources flowing back. However, we are missing the heart knockdown from a shuriken to start the pressure. That's actually an interesting proposition. So if you don't get a heart knockdown here, if you can make the opponent block shuriken, is that frame advantage? I'm pretty sure it's frame advantage in Guilty Gear Strive. It used to be like not very much in Exerd, but the tool is also like quite different from the olden days. And the kata overhead and backed up with RC. Maria picking up perfect timing in a sense to burst here, because Maria delayed that burst, was able to burst Vlink into the corner, into this position where, yeah, just two hits is what it took. Vlink was basically full life, and out of that delayed burst into an advantageous position, yeah, we got it, 2-touch. Now missing the first hit of DP here, the instant air dash jump heavy, finding it smart. Vlink looking to mix it up. Overhead into, oh, that wasn't too much momentum there? What? I don't think I've seen that kind of momentum sort of swing ever before from, not Sims, Chip. Now Maria is gonna get the burst back, but getting stuck to the wall just a little too early. Won't have time to spend that burst. So Vlink able to clear the first tough spot here. And very close on the chase on Maria. Yeah, it was a hard call out, or hard call to make. Maria would have had to be mashing on the burst button there, because she basically had only one opportunity. So it's essentially an RPS. Is your opponent gonna try to hard drop the combo because they know you're gonna be hitting on that? Or perhaps your opponent just doesn't care and they just want to get the burst out of you. And or take the round if you're, you know, willing to play that RPS yourself. In the corner, nice with the jump D bounce. It's gonna be a soft knockdown again, and a very hard read. Too heavy, catches the jump from Vlink, and we're already in a position. DPRC coming out, so Vlink able to fight still for this round. But look at the meter, 100 can't even cancel this. Doesn't have to, because the super finds its mark. This is like one of the go-to situations that you're gonna see a lot in Guilty Gear Strive. You have 100 meter and you know the opponent is trying to pressure you. You might as well super RC, because if it whips, you can just whoa, okay, with the deflect shield into an immediate Kamuryuki, skipping past the clone. Did I see that correctly? The Kamuryuki just basically completely ignore the clone. How's that work out? Does Glow not prevent the opponent from, you know, running past? I guess. Right, Vlink having to take the soft knockdown once again. And Maria, again, full resources here. Thinking about the burst, yes. Trading, I want to say quite even. Vlink still has a lot of blood to spend. OTG hit, that's going to be a burst or a pop. Yeah, and Vlink noticed. I kind of like this because, like, when you notice your opponent is gonna be popping, if they manage to get like one stray hit, it could potentially... Wait, was that shuriken deflected or something? Huh. But either way, you know, spending the YRC or burst to guarantee that pop into a favorable position is probably something that you want to consider, because like if at the last second Maria was able to get some sort of a hit in and get perhaps a soft or a hard knockdown, then that pop will basically be favorable for Maria. But speaking of things that are not favorable Maria for here is this hard knockdown and Vlink's pressure. Cross up, immediate burst into the corner. Maria has been very active with this, trying to backdash or rather back Fukio out of that YRC, but was still in range. Yeah, and forcing a pop with that burst. Maria kinda had to go in. I kind of failed to see what the blood pressure was like, but if the blood pressure was, you know, putting Maria in a pop risky distance, then perhaps the commit had to happen there. That Vlink was on top of that, and as soon as Maria broke the threshold, or the potential threshold, oh, well, that thought, too heavy counter hit, immediate burst for Vlink. Now Vlink this time holding onto this left corner with that meager little deposit of your full burst gauge. Maria managing to break out. Not enough blood to make that 5 heavy connect there. Of course, we are talking about Chip, so, you know, if you want to prevent him from jumping, dashing in, you gotta be fairly preemptive with your grounded pokes. Knockdown in the corner, close slash, YRC, get off me! Back throw into the corner. Reads the deflect shield. Now Maria won't have any burst resources for this round. I'm gonna be able to find the hit. These small touches, small hits are exactly what, you know, Chip thrives with. Especially at the end of the round, it's like a 2K conversion ain't gonna deal much. You're usually gonna get like 2K 2D and, you know, nothing fancy after that. But if the opponent is going down currently, then yeah, those Ks are plentiful. Ooh, was that meant to be a 5D? Or did Vlink just miss him with a throw here? Nevertheless, getting thrown by Maria. The triple jump, making Maria's anti-air attempt whiff. And the momentum is going back and forth, but again, Maria with full resources, too heavy once again, catching Vlink out of that back jump. That's been happening consistently. Tries to finish with a 6K, sorry, 6 heavy, but, uh-oh, I think this could be a kill. 100 meter, how are we gonna spend it? No, the missing but not super! And Maria will have an opportunity here. Backwards Fukio and a clone. That's a That's a heartbreaker for Link. That was absolutely gonna be a super. Was it perhaps a miss on the Kara on Rekkas? I forgot to check exactly, but you know, no time to waste here. Wild Assault did collide there with the Blink's DP, and now with the pressure, Maria's gonna be fairly okay with this wall break. It's gonna be a hard knockdown this time, so this is much better for Link. Let's see what we can do with those resources. Probably on the hunt for the burst. There's the burst. YRC, get off me. Blood pressure extremely high. Maria won't be able to use any specials. In fact, Maria will pop, and the pop will be the bane of her. Vlink is gonna be taking the lead here. First time in a while. From that 3-1 position, Vlink pulling off 3 in a row. And what was that about making the Chip Nation proud here? Getting in there with a fast dash. Get off me. This time the burst won't be able to put Vlink in the corner. We'll go back to neutral. And neutral is where Mr. Xanath really thrives. 1, 2, 3 won't have the burst this, or rather the tension this time around to make the Kara Super happen. Of course, the 50 meter is ever so important for Chip in the corner, allowing you to go, you know, dial your pressure perhaps into Rekkas, and if you get the hit, you get the Kara Super for pretty meager amount of, what do we call it, commitment. And Maria still wants to burst here with very low life to spend. Uh-oh, why is it options? Oh no! With both of those command grabs, there was a lot of resources to try to option select it. However, Maria still was not in range for it. We are talking about a heavy character, a big body, so to speak, so moving around normally is kind of a chore for this character. So adjusting your micro position for throws, for example, can be tricky. Right into the overhead again, this one! The momentum just throws Maria back into the mid-screen. And now with the super jump, landing right in front of Vlink, allowing Vlink to start this pressure. However, the diagonal alpha whiffing. This is danger zone. Dashing forward, far slash, able to build a little bit of real estate for themselves, but now Maria going in with the far slash slash. Blink knew that would have probably stuck her into the corner. RC. Oh, this could be a kill. Nagoriyuki is pretty heavy, but if we get the wall slump damage should be enough. Doesn't even need the slump. The damage is there. Those multiple hits. Now, Chip's damage combos consist of a lot of hits, so technically even the combos are not the most damaging. There are a lot of hits, and a lot of hits is usually favorable feature against, low health situations. It is what we call in the industry the guts crush. The more small hits you have, the more opportunities you have to deal damage on somebody who is on their, full defensive modifiers. Alright, we'll have an opportunity for a hard knockdown here. Spend the 50, still on 50 burst. So another stock of red wild assault is not even gonna be needed here. There's the conversion when we have the 50. The normal, Rekka, Kara Super. You already know the vibes. Now Vlink with massive amount of momentum here. Let's see if Maria will be able to flip this momentum on its back. We are talking about a very capable player for making comebacks. Drifting back in there, spending everything for this pressure, and we still have one stock of white wild assault if we want to use it. 6p, anti-airing on the landing. Deflect shield does push Vlink far away, and that's actually pretty good because it would have been a cross-up, so Maria did not have to worry about the left-right in that sense. Very high blood pressure still, so combos do a lot of damage, and Maria won't have access to that jump scare that is Nagoriyuki. Big counter hit here. Luckily for Maria, the wall gives in just in the nick of time. So one more hit. Drifted way before Vlink. I think Vlink's blue drift RC was, only starting up there. However, will not be able to keep the momentum. Vlink. This is basically a reverse sweep here. 3-1, remember? 3-1 Maria. And a couple of games later, we open our eyes and we are living in this absurd world where Vlink is actually 6-3 on Maria ever since. I think it's the neutral. It's all of those whiff punishes as well as the ability to run the pressure. I think Vlink has had ever since, as soon as she gets in this pressure position, she's had really good, you know, frequency of finding the hits. And then Chip Zanov just flows. You get a wall break in the corner, it's a lot of the times it's over if your opponent can't find like a burst or deflect shield or a reversal super or something on you. Ooh, big counter hit though. Big damage opportunity. Maria will burn up. Oh, is that a kill? Wait a second. Wait a minute, chat. Will it? Will it? Oh my goodness, it actually will. Look at that, the big samurai damage coming in just in the nick of time. I mean, you know, still, you have to take into consideration that those rounds haven't been happening for Maria at a very frequent pacing here. And Maria did the math perfectly here. So stopping at just about the popping point. Lots of blood coming back from those 5 heavy, and that's even more. Don't even need the blood drain. We are still in it to win it. A very classical kind of situation. Oh, we're getting a disconnection. Let me ping the players. It would be very unfortunate to miss the last game here, so hope the players do notice. I believe the players did notice this time. There's chatter in the Discord side of things. Alright, so hopefully, or looks like luckily we are not gonna miss the last match. Let's flip the players back into the lobby though, as soon as the match ends. Whew, it's looking out to be a nail biter here. Maria still has a pretty decent chance. You know, Vlink managed to pull off the momentum swing, and before that, Maria started the game, started the set extremely comfortably. So who is to say that the momentum cannot be flipped again? In fact, if we know anything about Maria Nagoriyuki, the momentum should be flipped here. It's almost like a force of nature. An inevitability of sorts. A law that just hasn't been spoken out. Or rather, I guess it's been talked about quite a lot, in fact, on Bounty Hunters. Anyway, Vlink needing only one to cut it short. Or, I mean, relatively short, I suppose.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
So very little options, very little time, very little, what's it called? Privilege to make mistakes here. Tried to poke from full screen with Wild Assault. Wild Assault, however, Vlink having none of that. We weren't committing that time, and the whiff punish will be rather trivial for our ninja. A super jump in, RC. To make, usually when you're super high blood, you want to try to make use of your other resources, such as, you know, Wild Assault or your RCs, to drain back blood and extend the combos, and that was exactly what Maria did here. Now very close to burst. Oh no! Did the math wrong this time, or perhaps a calculated risk? But the fact of the matter is, we did go into the pop, and now Vlink will be, once again, in set point position here. Starting with the shoot again. Good block on Maria on that cross-up. Those are the kind of small things, you know, that end up making a lot of difference. We could argue that the alpha plate hit that you get from the cross-up doesn't do much, too much damage, but, you know, being able to be plus against Chip, because it... Oh, landing straight into the... It's gonna be close here. Vlink building very close to that 50%. That's gonna be it! Almost like a bandit sneaking up on that opportunity to kill, and the kill happens Vlink. From a position that, you know, how many of you would have bet money on Vlink on that 3-1 spot? And from that, Maria was only able to get one more point, and Vlink able to make it work on Chip. Very good. Alright, that will set the pace for the rest of the evening. We are gonna be rocking with more vampires in the coming set. Hoplan once again forsaken the depending on your point of view, still supporting the vampires, the Nightless gang, but won't be playing Nagoriyuki this time. Will be that Slayer once again ever since Slayer release week, and the opponent this time gonna be Worst. Now we are of course hoping for favorable routing here, because Worst is gonna be playing from a location not usually, you know, not from their home location. Let's put it like that. Now this matchup also, actually, before we should talk more, let's make sure that Worst is on top of it. So I haven't seen this matchup very often on Strive, which is understandable. Faust is relatively obscure character, or rather, I guess obscure is not the word. I mean, obscure is a good word when when describing the good doctor. But what I meant to say is rather rare kind of a matchup. In the past, however, the good doctor has had the ability to limit the horizontal movement of Slayer quite well, especially with the items. So I'm suspecting a lot of the items that you get to throw out as Faust will be that sort of buffer zone between you and the K-Mappa coming out of Slayer. Of course, you know, items such as maybe the little guy, they are a little slow to activate, so I suspect if K-Mappa will come out, it might actually find its target in Faust, but that should still activate the little guy and provide a combo breaker / combo starter if the Slayer player chooses to, you know, still play and commit to those hits. And then we of course got the hammers. Hammers very active, preventing Slayer from coming in, dashing in, mappaing in. And the other junk that, you know, you may be able to throw on the ground. One interesting question is how easy it is for Faust to contest trumpets in this matchup. Like it's always a very important point of contention when the trumpet is thrown, especially from a neutral position. Usually that triggers a sort of a mini game where both players are trying to race forward to pick it up at all means necessary. With the forward dash that Slayer has, is it harder or is it easier to play that position? I mean, again, we could argue that just came up a forward, Lamau. And it's like what, how fast is it? It's something ridiculously fast. Like 14 frames startup plus travel time. And if Faust is not blocking at that very moment, I mean, you could also shoot past the trumpet. I guess that's an option as well. But, you know, I guess we're gonna find out soon here, because the players are setting themselves on the cabinet here. Two Finnish warriors, although fighting from different countries this time around. Hoplan, I believe, if I recall correctly, Hoplan hasn't lost on Slayer yet. Is that right, actually? Let me pull out my data sheet. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, it's 4 straight wins so far for Hoplan ever since Slayer release. So we'll get to see if that triumphant road continues. Of course, Hoplan is one of those anomalies in a good way. We are talking about a lot lot about Hopland in the Finnish fighting game community and how, you know, how fast he's been able to get at that really cool level where you don't necessarily win tournaments, but you get to challenge some of those top players on a good day. And that's really been showing at the matches that Hopland is playing. Oh, what's going on here? Both players? Oh, let me actually read the chatter here. So it was a case where players don't see each other, so... So in that case, I usually say that one of the players should host the lobby, and that usually has a better chance of fixing it. Let's see if our boys do see each other now. Right, looks like they see each other, and it's good to go. I think it's usually like the longer the sort of original lobby has existed, the higher chance for players to sort of not see each other. But either way, Slayer matchup, Slayer versus Faust.
Duel 1.
This could be a rare, like I'm of course extremely biased in terms of, you know, being an old guard player, so I'm sort of biased to say, sort of primed to say that maybe this could be one of those matchups that is actually good for Faust, for, you know, his ability to control the neutral. It does look a little choppy, so I do hope the connection is fine. Went for another. It's late there, but Worst was ready to grab it. That little guy on the board, no way out of this one. From a defensive position, Slayer really ain't like he used to be in the past. Comboing into the grenade, and that shit, ooh, not quite. Reversal super from Hopland. This is gonna actually hop themselves back into the mid-screen. Now, if you're not in a position to block DOT or the Super Mappa Hunch as it is called in this game, if you're not grounded in front of Slayer, you could often find yourself in a situation where the Super Mappa just whiffs and you don't have time to chase Slayer at all. This is looking really, really choppy. Oh no. Oh no. But, I mean, after the match, we'll find out from players how they feel about it. The 5K, yeah, the 5K is one of the buttons that I definitely wanted to talk about when it comes to... ooh, but it's late with the counter hit. It's late is such an interesting button, perhaps having even more functionality and potential as an anti-air from when you think the opponent is gonna jump out of your dandy steps nowadays, rather than as an overhead mix-up and or plus frame generator. In fact, does not generate plus frames at all in Guilty Gear Strive, just like it did in the past. Right, with the Mappa approaching, immediate wall stuck. So relatively small amount of damage for Slayer category for just 2 hits. But that was still like almost half of your life. Again, with the pile bunker. That was literally 2 pile bunkers and then the hits that broke the wall. My God. That's 2. 1, 2. Fucking 2 2-hit combos. Are you freaking kidding me? Ishiwatari Daisuke. Is this what it meant to be? Is that how you meant the game to be played? Post-Slayer. Either way, we're in the left corner once again. Oh no, this again! And this time Hopland will have the super for the first hit, and then literally any hit is gonna kill here. Deflect shield on Master's Hammer. Oh no, look at that. It's late once again. Counter hit, and that's all she wrote with that super. Spent it off. Do the cool anime move. We all know it's gonna kill and then some. Yeah, this is the other side of the coin. If you don't get those items out as Faust, I suspect this is kind of how it's gonna be going a lot of the time. It's a really funny freeze frame to end on there. Worst was just coming in from the super. So looking like it is 200 ping, and looking like I actually got. That's a very first kind of a. Wait, is it because they had such a shady connection that I was behind so much that then I got disconnected on the subsequent rounds? I mean, it's basically it's kind of confirmed that like the worse the connection is, the more you're gonna have issues with, you know, not just the players but also the spectators, it turns out to be. But let's do some magic once again. Wait for the boys to come back. Leave the room in winner stays. I don't know about that, because, you know, that's gonna extend. So let's do some math. So we have 7 matchups every week. If we have to come back and watch the eagle fly every single time, that's gonna extend the duration of every single match like at least 5 minutes, and one full event is gonna take somewhere from 3 hours to 4 hours. So that's a lot of time wasted actually if I don't keep this on rematch, because we have players telling me like this is a conscious choice from me, by the way. This is not a mistake I'm making here. You know, I understand that you want to see every single game, but this is not a double elimination bracket. These are FT7s we are talking about, and the amount of time we would lose between the matches is a lot, and I'm doing this alone. So like, if I had some extra commentators, then maybe I could rotate and we could get away with, you know, everybody not having to be here for the full thing. But, you know, we work with what we got, and I'm unfortunately not gonna be changing my policy in terms of, you know, having the lobby on a rematch match. So hope you understand. Like, I get it. It sucks. It sucks when you lose, one match out of a set that you really wanted to watch, and it does happen once in a while. But who took that, by the way? That was worst, right? Yeah, because Hopland was knocked out of the podium. All right. Now, speaking of unfortunate things, now we won't be able to know how Worst was able to flip the script around in that round, but perhaps, you know, getting back into it, maybe we'll get to see a glimpse of that. Far slash clipped by the big Conrad Super from Slayer. I think if the mappas, especially the K mappa, if it keeps coming, if Hopland, you know, just autopilots into the K mappa at the fastest possible timing, you probably don't actually have time to throw a lot of items as Faust, and in that sense, you would have to, you know, bring out those good hitboxes. Good fast starting hitboxes, at least faster than, you know, K mappa startup. We're probably talking about like maybe 2 heavy, 5 heavy, even moves like 2K. 5K is actually the button that I wanted to talk about the most. It's a big stop sign, it reaches really far away, it has some active frames, so historically it's been one of the stop signs. Did I just say crawl under a K mappa? I think that's actually it, because, you know, 6P goes under mappas as well, so it is reasonable to say that maybe the crawl would be able to low profile the mappas just as well. But But another point for Hoplan here. It's of course an option that you have access to at, you know, mid-screen range or from further ranges, but at closer ranges where, you know, Slayer is able to sort of put out hitboxes that can touch the ground, such as 5 heavy. Not 5 heavy, 2 heavy. Especially from 2 heavy ranges, I think it's extremely risky to try to crawl Faust. Or sorry, Slayer. Right, but Worst is working with a really good round here. Put some items in there. One of those was Hammer. And Hammer is the premium way of preventing Slayer from coming in with that. Came up a really good combo of items as well. It was Hammer plus the Horn. So able to grab the momentum like that. However, one touch and it's 60% of your life gone here. Now, how will Worst play this? Trying to crawl. But if you crawl too much, then the other side of the coin can happen. Maybe Hoplan can just dash forward and instant air dash forward and get you like that. Now air throw into 2 heavy Mappa, or tried to hit confirm there with the pile bunker, which is the usual normal hit conversion. But if you dial into it without 50 meter, it's basically gonna be a close slash punish for the opponent. That's what ended up being the thing that broke the camel's back for Hoplan. But again, look at these combos. Now one more hit, and it could be over. Full slash finds its mark. Hoplan tries to reversal out of it. Will be safe though. Oh, never mind, won't be safe, because the item there was the 100 pump hammer, which was able to knock down Hoplan as a result. The Horn though, so many bombs. Careful not to get clipped by it. Good 6p into Mappa. Careful with the little guy as well. It's kind of smart from Worst, retreating to the little guy angle. So Hoplan had to worry about a little you know, going into K-Mappa and activating the little guy. 6p again, picks up the Afro, goes to the other side. Very nice, making himself as inaccessible as possible while you're wearing that Afro. Go into the Master's Hammer, make your hitbox be in a very awkward place for Faust to access. Tries to swing with the the 5 heavy whiffs. And getting whiff punished for his troubles. Worst now in the corner. One hit could be it. That's one hit into a wall stick and a super. Ain't gonna kill, right? Yeah. This is a low guts character, but at least it's not gonna deal that much, right? The jump 2K, drilling, big active frames. I wonder if the jump 2K from Faust is gonna be one of those moves that you can kind of challenge Mappa with. You know, all jump 2Ks we've seen from Faust so far have come out of those situations victorious. Oh, look at that, the 5 heavy. The classic stop sign button. Not the furthest reach, but if your opponent is extending themselves into it, then it is kind of like a nice button that you can put out in certain matchups. Ooh, getting to have the tuner as well. A couple of extra hits. Very nice, and cashing out with the pile bunker. Missed the frames there. I bet Hoplan was trying to input the super there, but got close slash for their troubles. But now 100 meter, lots of different options available. Worst is hanging at that very safe-ish distance. Of course, you can kind of modify your Mappa's range if you do the step cancel or not. Oh no, the Master's Hammer! Once again, very awkward to access. You could see Hoplan coming in from the Master's Hammer angle, and Worst was trying to put out a 5B, but it just completely whiffs. Oh, we've seen this again. 6 heavy into pile bunker. That was a 3-hit combo and stuck a super at the end there. Over a half of Worst life gone. And now, guess for your life, Master's Hammer coming. With this, I think this will miss, right? Yep. And Hoplan can't RC either. And the Master's Hammer once again. Damn. Master's Hammer really has been a kind of like a neutral skip tool in this matchup so far. Please don't give us disconnect, please. Thank you. Right, Hoplan on 5 points here. Lots of good rounds for Worst, but you just don't have a lot of buffer to make those mistakes.
Duel 1.
The connection seems to be going haywire here, though. Montenegro, please bless us with some amount of bandwidth here on this very day of bounty hunters. Oh my god, it's the internet meta. It's worse than East Coast to West Coast EU. Yeah, if this is looking kind of grimy at the moment. Next slide. What's gonna happen? It's the turn-based fighting games kind of a thing. Because if you commit into something, you kind of have to predict what your opponent is doing there on the next frame. Especially since this is like not even frame by frame. It's like skipping 20 frames ahead at a time. I'm actually surprised that 2P was able to hit the 6 heavy there from Hopland. Yeah, I mean... This potentially could be the end. I think the players so far, even though the connection has been a little iffy, they've had the patience of Saints. And they've been playing this match forward, but at this point, I mean, one has to consider certain things. Into. Could you see the instant overhead coming? Light the fire, and then with that whip, yes indeed. Afro explodes, and then Mappa Hunch. Yeah, I'm honestly at this point, I'm just waiting for either one of the players to be like, fuck this shit, I'm out. Is the worst guy in Finland? I thought the story was that they were traveling at the moment, so. And lots of 10-ton hammers, the little guy coming out as well. That was almost an unblockable setup. That was literally an unblockable setup there, was it not? Because like if you touch the ground while the 100-ton hammer touches it, you will get knocked down, but also the little guy was gonna activate, so if you go into a jump startup, then Mini Faust is gonna get you. Teleport, is he gonna see where it comes from above, and that is a true punish. Do we get the combo though? Missed it, goes into Master's Hammer. You sure as hell ain't throwing Master's Hammer on reaction on these stuffy frames. They've been talking a lot about how, you know, perhaps you shouldn't try to anti-air Master's Hammer for, you know, reasons that we've seen so far, whereas it's like Master's Hammer, while it's airborne, it's extremely awkward to hit, so perhaps you should just, you know, react it's coming and then react to frames, or queue up your throw on frames where you can actually throw it. It's kind of, I'm not sure how many, but there are some frames between, you know, the hit happening, the landing happening, and everything. All right, let's see. Let's consult players in terms of how we're gonna do this. Is it actually worse slap top? Are we in some sort of like battery saving mode and losing, you know, losing frames and you know, processing power? Yeah, okay, so I think the players have agreed that since we almost got there, but since it's getting kind of absurd here, we're just gonna call the match. Call the match right now and, you know, cut our losses and go next. There was a try, but, you know, the first out of our 2 questionable connection matches of the week, you know, kind of worked out, kind of didn't. Let's let's move on with the show. All right. So next coming in, it's gonna be Ketu, Giovanna player from Finland. It's gonna be facing Horizon Emilia player from Sweden next. So as we talked about earlier, these are 2 players who are still chasing that W on Bounty Hunters. Horizon, of course, 2 weeks in a row against Hoplan Slayer, and what we've seen from the Slayer Emilia matchup doesn't seem the most fun. You know, even the Slayer versus Faust was kind of grimy looking, because it's literally like 1 touch and then you're like, all right, if I don't have burst, then I guess I'll die. It's that meme, I guess I'll die. Now, Giovanna ain't the lowest damage character either, but she's definitely in from the selection of rushdown characters. She's probably on the lower scale of the damage. If we compare to likes of like Soul Bad Guy or I guess she's like on par with Leo, perhaps. It's like both Leo Sin Geo, the kind of like rushdown-ish characters that don't have like the highest damage output, but they flow well, they have decent pressure and decent neutral compared to, like, for example, Soul Bad Guy, who probably has some, generally in many matchups, has some difficulties, has to, you know, get close and personal, has to get into that brawling range. The aforementioned 3 characters perhaps don't have to work quite as hard as Soul. Arguably. You know, of course, you might have your own opinions, but that's kind of that theory I guess we're working with. Either way, Emilia Rage, a character that once you land a hit on her, she hurts quite a bit, but arguably she's as hard to catch as Chip. Or in certain aspects, even harder. They do have their own interesting mechanics of running away. Both are extremely fast on the ground, of course. Chip has his triple jump, whereas Emilia has extra amount of air dashes, as well as a +1 kind of air dash. You could say that Capel is an extra air dash, but an air dash that instantly produces a hitbox and or sort of protects Emilia's own hitbox. I think Capel's hurtbox like makes Emilia's legs disappear, or the hurtbox on her legs disappear in a way. So you kind of have to be in the right position to be able to challenge Emilia's air movement. So if nothing else, you always have your trusted air throw, which is kind of like the go-to tool if you wanna snatch Emilia out of some of those air dash resets, or even if you want to snatch her out of like Capel. A well-placed air throw is always something that is available to basically every character. Now, Geo probably not the most known for her, you know, aerial control. She's much more of a, you know, Street Fighter-like character. Oh, using the Mirage there to skip positions. And speaking of the air throws, Ketu already putting that tool on the table. Good check there. This time, Horizon not getting away with that with that Mirage. And in fact, right after landing out of that Mirage, got fully charged 5D'd. Did Ketu hit a button here? No. But a 50-meter extra here, 100 to keep the pressure going. Air car misses, so does the Capel, and the chip damage potential becomes a reality. A little early on that throw, so has to sort of forfeit the pressure here for Keturin. Here we go with the close slash. One of the few characters who has more than +1 on her close slashes. Nice step, nice on standing standing up and blocking the overhead. Right, escape out of the corner with that hair car, but running straight back into the midst of it. Bell once again missing, cross up with that axe kick. And again, those axe kicks, oh, but not able to run pressure afterwards. Horizon pressing Milia's fast buttons, and now an opportunity to mix it up, going to the other side, immediate burst. However, Horizon was on top of that. These are the kind of reads that you probably want to have as Milia Rage. Especially since, you know, one of the easiest way out of Milia's mix-up and reset kind of vortex is to have that blue burst ready to go. Although, Deflect Shield is surprisingly good as well, because we are talking about a character who is basically not just left-right in the air, but also potentially on the ground. The left-rights from the overhead jump-ins can sometimes be omitted, and she can go straight into a low, and then you're not only guessing for, you know, left-right, but also high-low, and then throw as well. Lots of meter here for Keturin, so the special install mode is activated. So basically when... Oh, but Geo Super tagging Horizon out of that escape attempt after this disc. Ketu grabs the first round here.
Duel 1.
Alright, the patience here, waiting for Horizon to whiff a button and then goes for the whiff punish. Definitely the kind of movements that you, or sequences that you want to have from a character who is so good at whiff, in the whiff punishing game in Guilty Gear Strive. Whiffing the 6P+, which is the Geo's DP. There's a punish on that hair car. When hair car lands really next to you, should be no problem for Geo to get at least a decent amount of damage out of that. At least a hard knockdown. Backdash out of the up dog. Of course, the dog kick or up dog or whatever you want to call it. What's the input? Is it like 214K? Is minus on block your so-called pressure ender, but depending on if you manage to RPS actively, you mix it up with like backdash out of the situation, or doing nothing, or perhaps slapping a, you know, DP on top of that for high profile, or even a reversal super. You could sometimes prevent your opponent from trying to press their plus frames. Like, look at this here. Horizon choosing to jump back out of that situation. And then there's, of course, the delayed RCs and what have you. Meter options definitely add some spice to that minus frame situation. From the close slash, what are we gonna go for? Delayed up dog into a counter hit. It's gonna lead into pretty decent damage. Won't be able to get the wall stuck here. But still working with it. Is Horizon gonna reach for the YRC? No, just choosing to organically defend against it. Try to slow down the frames with that blue RC. This is gonna whiff. No, never mind. This is never gonna whiff. It will find that hat hitbox of Milia Rage here. And Ketu closes out another round with that super.
Duel 1.
I wonder if Horizon was forced crouching here, would that super have actually whiffed? Now, of course, being a non-DP user here, Milia won't usually have a reaction response against that air super if it's coming. So probably will have to use mobility to her, you know, her advantage and just getting out of there whenever you see Geo with 50-meter jump at you from a particular kind of angle. With the two-step dashes, RC, FRC into, misses the combo unfortunately. So Horizon will have some, into an empty turbo fall, and then the overhead, and another one here, 6 heavy, ringing true. And finding a close slash. That's a big starter. Luckily for, or I was about to say, luckily for Ketu, the wall gives in very soon, but they actually didn't have the health to survive that. Now, punish opportunity here. I think if the axe kick misses like that, it has a lot of recovery, so the character like Milia should be able to chase and potentially punish. If you are ready for it, that is. But in the heat of the moment, it's kind of an easy thing to miss. Trait here against the Red Wild Assault. Was that actually a true combo that Ketu was able to get out of that trade? Here we go. Horizon with a lot of meter here. Not catching Ketu in a clean disc setup, unfortunately. Oh, and the dash jump momentum. Look at that angle. I want to say a lot of us often ignore the kind of advantage that dash jumps offer you. Very different from an instant air dash. But perhaps characters such as maybe, you know, Giovanna, who have the step dashes, are some of the most potential candidates for utilizing the momentum that you get out of that dash jump. Now, anti-air coming out. I think Ketu just wouldn't be able to block there. The startup of your instant air dash that puts you in a couple of frames where you won't be able to block, and then what was that hit? Was that a DP or was that axe kick? Suddenly Ketu just had a combo available there. Alright, micro dash into 2K round start. A very cool kind of round start for players who are in the know. If your character has a decent step dash, so like, or either a decent fast startup dash or a step dash, such as like Leo or Gio, you can get quite a bit of value from, you know, combining those couple of extra frames from starting your dash into a fast starting button like 2K. Nice bait on the super here for Ketu, finishing the round. Into an instant air dash, making that far slash whip. Far slash from Horizon Milia. I think Milia is one of those characters who has the fast type far slash, meaning 9 frames. But it comes with a cost in terms of its reach. So if your opponent is backwalking at round start, ooh, but completely missing the super here. And Horizon getting a close slash started for their troubles. Going in with the reset option instead of setting the disc or getting the wall break, but now with a 50 meter, taking the wall break and has a couple of different options here. Matching the jump here, goes for a gold burst. From that, not really a hard knockdown, soft knockdown will be able to flow into the last hit. 3 in a row here for Keturin. Horizon has had some difficulties getting their blender started. Slash tries to swing into Keturin's minus frames. Ooh, with the fully empowered spiral arrow powering through the disc and then some. YRC, oh, went for a 6 heavy. Now, this is definitely a risk you take if you use YRC and take your turn like that. If you use a button that is slower than 10 frames, you won't be able to start pressure airtight. So if your opponent is mashing a super or a DP there, you could get caught if you try to, you know, get some extra value from that +10. You could also try to dash forward, which will sometimes get caught by DPs as well. 1, 2, 3, close slashes into, baits the deflect shield and gets the round. That was a big, valuable round win as well, because Ketu had to spend that 50 burst here. They are going to be missing in this round. Close slash, pulling Ketu back on the ground. And now to the other side, close slash starter. Looking good. Nice 5k pickup. Won't be able to get a clean setup at the end of it. A very decent amount of damage done. So one more good combo with an RC potentially sets up the disc in a slightly unfortunate position and Ketu able to backdash out of it. Missing with the instant air dash, Keturin. However, oh, it still tags Horizon Horizon out of the startup of whatever move they were trying to go for. However, that is a very low damage super relatively. Keturin gets a burst out, jumps over the super once again. We've seen these movements more than once or twice so far. 5B tags Horizon on the landing, and then the low. The massive amount of plus frames you get from that RC, allowing Keturin to dash back into the pressure and find the low airtight, perhaps. 6B countering that 9-frame bar slash that Milia is working with. And now into the pressure, into the heat of the moment. The active frames, oh my god, the first hit of that bar slash was gonna whiff, but it moves forward with the forward dash momentum, and the active frames are just stellar. Oh, momentum burst into the corner. However, Keturin not ready to give away the pressure or give away the position, just pressing buttons heroically, perhaps, and thwarting Horizon's approach. Oh, slash pressure once again. Jumpy out of the sky. However, Jumpy not providing the maximum amount of value in terms of frame advantage for sure. Remember, the lighter the button, the faster the startup, and the more likely you are to poke the opponent out of the sky, but less frame advantage it's gonna provide you. With a soft knockdown, Keturin jumps over, and the close slash coming from Milia. Milia, definitely one of those best in slot close slashes. In terms of the hitbox, oh my god, that's a lot of hits from that bar slash, and crossing up during that combo sequence. Oh, the disc being the anti-air of choice here, but Keturin dashes into the close slash, gets the big hit, and 6 consecutive wins here. 1 more to go. Now, will Horizon be able to find some sort of a solution here? The close slashes are definitely working out well. The anti-airs are working out for Horizon, but perhaps the pressure and the blender, not so much. And it's usually like a pixie character like Milia Rage or Chip Sanif really wants to make it count. What was that again? What did Horizon trade with? Is it a DP? Reversal DP from Ketu? You blink and you miss it. RC from the hair car. Once again, close slash pressure into a throw, set it up. Just goes for a reversal DP again. It is a 6P plus kind of a thing. It low profiles you starting from, is it from the first frame actually? I would, no, the setup wasn't the meaty disc, so Keturin did have some frames to press buttons there. Either way, Ketu very close to ending this set here. This is set point. Oh, but look at that! The Capel and the hurt boxes on the footsies, or the feetsies, they are nowhere to be seen. So Horizon dodging 1 bullet, but where is the escape gonna come from? 2P? Yep, we're out. However, straight into the 6P, and that's a counter hit, and that means we're gonna have a pickup, and that also means that Keturin is gonna come out of this FT7 full sweep, no dropped games whatsoever. And Horizon once again facing, looking at a situation where Horizon is facing a very, very mighty opponent. Once again, 3rd week in a row. I think this was a switcherino game, right, in the end. And Keturin was the player who was willing to take... Wait, was it? I forgot how it actually went. Either way, good effort. Horizon definitely had good rounds here and there, but it just felt like Keturin was able to find the aggressive options, especially out of the disc setups on a very regular basis. Right, moving on. We've got another Slayer matchup coming up next. Okay, so what makes this matchup interesting is that this is Ehmu not on their trademark chip, but instead Slayer. Now we did see Ehmu play Slayer on the release week on Bounty Hunters, and I think it was against Aquila, right? A Slayer mirror, which Ehmu took barely by the skin of their teeth, if I recall correctly. Now returning back, the opponent this time is going to be Mox Biken, representing both, I suppose, Germany as well as United States. I think Mox is from United States originally, right? Is that the lore? Although, why is Ehmu rocking the Scottish flag? That's wasn't Ehmu one of the players who loves to, you know, switch flags around quite a bit? Was born in America, lived there for 14 years, or 14. So that is indeed the lore. Cause Slayer, wait, Slayer's Scottish? I haven't heard of this. I've never heard of this before. Put on a different flag each time. Fair enough, fair enough. The mix-up start at the not even on the character select screen, on the matchup card. Yeah, I thought as much that Slayer would be Romanian for the classic vampire lore. That was sort of the hunch I had as well. All right, we have both players primed and ready to go. Slayer, I guess at this point we can say basically the de facto damage character of the game. I guess it's a close match between Soul and Slayer, but I think Slayer just has more starters where you just completely decimate the opponent. Whereas, you know, routing into the clean hit heavy Volcanic Viper is usually the damage condition for Soul Bad Guy, which can be sometimes a little hard to achieve, right? Like most counter hits from Soul Bad Guy don't actually naturally flow into his clean hit Volcanic Viper. However, for Slayer, most of his counter hits do flow into that you know, quotations backshot pile bunker loop. I just call it a pile bunker loop because it's a kind of interesting way of, you know, putting what's happening during that loop. Either way, tether attached, and Mox now in a prime combo position. Biken players are probably gonna know most of the custom combo situations. Swips to the other side, and with the 5D, misses the jump D pickup there at the peak of that fully charged 5D conversion. RC, keep them steady, frame chop into 6K and get the kill. Right, missing with a round start Dandy into its late. In terms of the function of the its late, I think you're usually gonna swing it, especially when you go into the K Dandy step. You're probably gonna swing its late as a way of trying to bring the opponent out of the sky. Because, like, remember, going airborne is probably one of the best ways to avoid Master's Hammer, for instance. Or I mean Pile Bunker as well. So then its late is kind of like a soft call out, soft hard-ish call out for, you know, thinking, all right, my opponent is gonna be in the air, so we're gonna go for its late and cleave them out of the sky. Nice backdash out of the Escabari. Attaches it one. So Escabari is a very important part of your pressure game plan as Biken. Not only does it give plus frames, but it gives your next hit that you know, that custom combo kind of a mode where it's pulling you. Oh, hello! Tried to dash forward, tried to be a little naughty Slayer, but the but the Yozan, the TK Yozan actually cleaving backwards as well. Interesting. Now, speaking of being naughty, there is quite a lot of different sequences that Slayer can try to pull off on Wake Up. Of course, you have that. You have the Hand of Doom from one of the worst backdashes in the game, and then you have the I think throw invulnerables is what you get for trying to do reversal P dandy. So like as a command dash forward. So you do have some kind of cheeky tools that you could try to pull off on the opponent if they're respecting you. But for perfect meaties, yeah, weaseling out of perfect meaties is kind of difficult without 50 meter for Slayer. Right here into the mix-up. The option is low this time. My butt catches Mox airborne, but at least not as counter hit, so not the biggest. Oh, nice! Ehmu was on top of that RPS there. So if you're using the cross-up version out of the heavy Kabari, it's kind of reaction check. If your opponent is ready and awake, you are gonna get like, you are gonna take a strike or a throw. On deflect shield, man. Ooh. Not even able to push Bike and Faro enough away. I think the the follow-up of the heavy Kabari there was able to pounce back and cover the distance once again. Close slash. This is one of the premium close slashes we are talking about after all. Yeah, look at that. The massive hitbox. It's almost impossible to jump on Slayer. Just like you don't usually get to jump out on the close slash pressure of Nagoriyuki's or Milia's or Johnny's for that matter. And there we go with the K-Mappa, the old reliable. From a spaced distance, if it hits, you get a small combo or at least a hard knockdown. On a counter hit, you get a nice combo. On a block, generally easy to space as being plus frames on block. Far slash, 9-frame variant, preventing Ehmu from pressing buttons on round start. I think considering how good Slayer's 5K is it how fast is it actually? Is it 7 frames? So I wonder if Ehmu presses 5K, that should beat Bike and 9-frame far slash as far as stardom goes. Ooh, nice, takes the air. Counters the Master's Hammer. And with the RC, we'll be able to get the killing combo as well. Ooh, that's definitely one option to go under the 5K. So 5K is very high profile, vulnerable to your go-to usual 6-piece, as well as other low profiling moves such as too heavy from Baiken. Ooh, 1-2, lots of damage. Ah, misses the super input. Got the TK jumps at last time, was definitely gonna meant to be a DOT there. Won't be able to forward dash out of that gun super. Escapari attached, another one, plus frames galore. It's kind of like a very, very classic way of exploiting your opponent. They know your plus frames out of that Escapari and they're like, all right, I'll chill here and block. Then you go for another Escapari to say, please, good sir, try to move out, defend yourself. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep looping this. With the end, the last couple of frames of that Escapari pulling Ehmu in close enough for the TK Yozan swipe there. With instant overhead, Mox moves on to the driver's seat once again. To the other side, missing with the instant air dash jump slash from Slayer. Slayer has so much momentum in his instant air dash. It actually moves him forward quite a lot, which is very different from what we're used to from the older Guilty Gear games. Oh, the double jump, RPSing the physics of the tether. But now Mox with the defensive parameter and the defensive tatami mats. Switching to offense with the instant air dash jump slash, the beloved tool to get things started from Viking players. And another one. Here comes the option, or here comes the mix-up. Overhead is the option this time. Wall stick. Don't even need it. We have the duff. We have the cash. We have the green. So spend it, get the kill, and get the round. Whoa, backdashing out of it. Kabari definitely from, I think, from a distance where the normal came up and can't reach. It's very reasonable for Viking players probably to try to space out and try to, you know, play with the disjoints of that jump, of that heavy Kabari. However, from the air-to-air position, into a combo, jumping out of the Master's Hammer as well. Attach the Kabari. Usually you can mash against that, but this time there was just too much distance between the characters, so the S Kabari actually worked as a frame trap of sorts, or a spacing trap, should we say. Mox has 50 meter. Oh my god, with the tip of that sword! However, that's a very rare kind of a combo here. To the other side, Master's Hammer, normal hit. But sometimes even just getting normal hit by Master's Hammer is way better than getting it blocked, because it is plus 26 after all, and it sets up a very nasty mix-up. I mean, you do still get a mix-up from a normal hit Master's Hammer as well, but at least the follow-up hit is gonna be less explosive, relatively. A back jump, jump slash, defending the airspace once again. And Slayer not really known for his air prowess. Definitely the stronger character on the ground. I really love, look at the spacing where Mox keeps standing. They're trying to space at a distance where, unless Ehmu would go for a step cancel K-Mappa, it's not gonna reach far enough. And Slayer as a step dash character will have certain difficulties adjusting the position here. Now saw that the 2K was coming up from Slayer, wouldn't be able to press, wasn't able to press any successful buttons against that. Ehmu very low on health and catches on the landing frames. I think the idea was to defend the horizontal air range with that tatami mat or the jump slash. Once again, this spacing, Ehmu walking forward, trying to find the game up a distance, whiffs again! However, if your opponent is not ready to press a button, this time Mox tried to jump out, so Ehmu actually getting pretty favorable position for that. I think, for this exact reason, if you try to jump on Slayer when he whips, especially K-Mappa, you're in a very, very bad spot, because close slash, like Slayer is going to be pressing that S button afterwards, right? It's kind of like an option select. If you try to backdash away, the far slash will reach and give Slayer plus frames. If you try to jump away, then the close slash will come out and anti-air you from basically any imaginable angle if you're anywhere near Slayer. So going airborne against, yeah, like look at that! Try to jump against the Mappa, and again, Slayer just exits the Mappa under you, goes for a close slash, gets a big hit, and then the round is over. I've had this problem myself against Slayer players recently as well, where I'm like, I just can't go airborne. Because like, if I jump, they go K-Mappa, surface under me, I'm dead. There's nothing I can do, I'm just straight up dead there. Even if I block, it's close slash on an airborne opponent, so I either spend my FD or my meter to, you know, not get risk build on me, and I still have to take the pressure. So I'm of the opinion that you kind of have to stay grounded against Slayer all of the time. Unless I say that, and Mox goes airborne successfully and catches the Master's Hammer. To the other side, lots of meter to spend here, no RC quite yet. Oh, there we go, that was the idea! And because that was actually a gold burst, but since it was air blocked, Mox was able to land after it and get a punish still, I believe. So really great play here. I think that's kind of the thought behind the quotations Gold Buster that this community has adopted. Kind of like a sequence where you go close slash and then jump cancel it, and if the gold burst comes out, then you at the last possible second, you option select into a jump and air block their Gold Burst, and then you get the punish. Because on a normal grounded block, yeah, you're not gonna punish Gold Burst. It's just way, it's not minus enough. You go into overhead once again. Good guess from Ehmu. Against characters like, oh, but they didn't press any button on the landing. Waiting for the burst to come out, counter hit. That should go into a combo. Wasn't able to pull off the super just in the nick of time, unfortunately. Approaching this time. I think this is the, is this the next sort of stage of playing the neutral? Oh, a big counter hit from its late. I think the idea from Ehmu was because Mox is standing at a range where my K-Mappa keeps whipping, I'll just use the K-Mappa and then drift forward RC and approach Mox like that. Wasn't able to get the Wild Assault up fast enough. So Mox gets out of the corner, and now Ehmu will have to try to find the hit once again. This time it was actually, because you can do the follow-up of the heavy kabari even on whip, it worked as a, it served kind of as like an anti-K-Mappa tool, a counter poke of sorts. Immediate burst works out. Mox now on their last legs here. Would Ehmu burst is the big question here. Safe play is to save it, but a Daredevil might go for it, especially if Ehmu manages to build to the 50 meter. TK Yozan, not the cleanest hit, but still gives up the pressure, and it's too heavy, delivering the fatal hit. I was surprised that 6 heavy wouldn't be able to reach there. 6 heavy from Slayer actually used to be the go-to way of pulling your opponent back onto the ground, not the dandy follow-up It's Late, which is more used in Guilty Gear Strive. Oh, that was on airborne, so that was actually an OTG. So drops the combo, but despite that, was able to get enough plus frames to pull off the pressure at the end there. So Ehmu moving forward, not letting Mox run away with too much of a lead. 2 points for Ehmu versus Mox's 4 here. The chase is on. And the counter hit. Immediate wall stock. That's half of your life. And Ehmu looking for one more. Master's Hammer was trying to set up that position, that fucked up position, plus 26. He wants it. It's like Slayer players, they want 2 things. Either K-Mappa or the plus 26. And oh boy, both of those situations are, or both of those tools are kind of fucked up if you manage to land them. Ah, it's late, even though it's -3. Or did that actually hit as airborne there? The Kabari is able to actually disjoint that 2K mash from Ehmu. And not building the burning the meter here. However, Ehmu is interception cores, and again, Mox goes airborne and gets just exploited to Kingdom Come by Slayer's close slash. The button is just absurd. Here we go, jumps out of, oh my god, jumped out of the Master's Hammer, but look at this again. Slayer lands and close slash. Pull them back to the ground. And or if it hits, it's just round over. Right, from the Escabari hit, combo still have the tether. And a lot of meter to spend as well. Get the hard knockdown, 50 meter after this. Mox has a lot of different options to play here. 50 meter, 50 burst for Ehmu as well. Takes the very safe route out and just attaches the Escabari. I think going for the Escabari, is that safe against Super Mappa? Is a good question. There we go, once again the safe spacing. Dash jump from Ehmu into, ooh, just a 5B. Pull them back onto the ground, that's a lot of risk. That was 3 hits on Mox and almost ready to land the counter hits from the risk. Ooh, at least that wasn't the counter hit. Ehmu looking for that one more hit. Swings really wild with the It's Late. Gold burst. trying to somehow gain control of the situation. This time, it's actually Mox who ends up whipping their full screen poke tool. I think that was actually the first time that Ehmu, it was Ehmu who was hanging back and waiting for the whiff heavy kabari. And Mox was probably expecting the, as a result, as a sort of reaction to the whiffed heavy kabari, was probably expecting the follow-up to come out, or rather was expecting Ehmu to react to that with a K-Mappa. Right, ooh, that's a lot of mines. I'm not actually sure if that follow-up landed on airborne Ehmu or not, but if it was on grounded, that's usually an opportunity for you to get the punish. But they're still attached, so this combo is gonna keep Ehmu nice and snug in the corner. Combo won't be able. Oh no, it's the second hit of the Tatami. Actually gets the wall break. Tragedy strikes Mox, and they won't be able to get the clean Oki that they were looking for. 100 meter though. Oh no, it's late. It's late, reaches so high. And again, get back in here. YRC finally coming out. However, won't be able to. Oh, I mean, that was definitely worth the investment. Yeah. Was able to build at least a little bit of distance and get out of that far slash plus frame pressure of Slayers. Right, Escabari plus frames. Here we go. Runs the usual string. Both players airborne. No air throws attempted though. Not even air-to-airs. So both players being extremely respectful there. Whipping your button from that air-to-air exchange, of course, would be very dangerous. Instant air dash, jump slash into. We can make this combo or this wall stick happen if we want to. Choose to save this time. 100 meter, one hit, that should be it. No, doesn't quite get the conversion, but this time, Super is primed and ready. No wall stick though, deflect shield. Ehmu somehow gets out and gets a 6P. Very flash range, or very fast-paced reaction there, but it ends up not being enough for Mox. Had such a massive life lead going on in that round. It's late, more like it's safe. That's funny that you would say that, because it's like, even though the follow-ups to Dandy Step, the high and the low, it's late and bump ahead are technically -3, they're surprisingly hard to challenge. Remember, they are, I think both are guard crushers, right? Or is it just it's late? At least it's late is a guard crush, so it will eliminate your button buffer. So if you want to be pressing immediately against that -3, you better get that frame perfect timing out. Right, Tatami trying to invite Ehmu into it, but Ehmu is patient. Once again, it's late, pulling them back onto the ground with plus frames, I reckon. Is this gonna reach? Yes, indeed, the big blast radius. You're not gonna be backdashing or anything else. Would have countered Hand of Doom as well. Although I gotta say, a lot of Slayer players have just chosen to actively ignore the existence of Hand of Doom. It has some niche functionality, but you can definitely build a game plan without having to ever access that tool, for sure. 2S, vacuum into bite, and then the Master's Hammer counter hit misses the K-Mappa counter hit combo. So Mox still has a little bit of a chance here. That would have been the right read. However, Mox probably lacked one more forward step there, just a little bit out of range for that throw. Coming down with the shot jump slash and plus frames. There we go, punish on the K-Mappa this time. Attaching the plus frames, the plus frame machine that is the K-Mappa. It's funny because Ehmu has been trying to call out the S-Kabari attachment, but it's always been from a range where Slayer's button just keep missing. Like 2K has been the tool of choice for Ehmu a lot of the time, but it just can't reach the startup of S-Kabari. Right, once again, no meter to kill just yet. Going into this mix-up, YRC, give me the plus frames. Uh-oh. He might steal. Ehmu coming through, lots of plus frames into universe, and he hit overhead. He blocks it. Oh no! You're still not out of the woods yet. It's late again, guard crush. And I think Mox, they were hesitating there for a moment, allowing Ehmu to press even more buttons. We are going quite neck to neck here. Ehmu started out this set a little slow, but now I've been able to, I think Ehmu is quite perceptive of a player. So they're noticing that my it slates are getting so much value. Speaking of value, hitting as a counter hit here. That wasn't even an anti-air it slate. That was just a classic counter hit it slate into Night. Again, rare footage of it slate actually not reaching there. Like it's ridiculous how far you have to be to make that move not hit. And if you go into Dust Loop and check its hitbox, you kind of understand what is going on. It just, like, I think it extends so high up into the sky that it's almost impossible, very improbable that your opponent will be able to avoid it if they're like anywhere near its vicinity. Right, here comes the mix-up again. Overhead is the option, and with the wall stick, that should be a kill. Yep, even on Slayer, who has very high defensive modifiers, as well as some guts. Right, back to neutraling. Ooh, 6 heavy. Oh, from the other side. Getting caught, immediate burst by Ehmu. The deep dash bar slash, able to catch Emu's coming out of the back dash. Skipping to the close range, jumped out, oh no, jumped out of the Master's Hammer, but it's a double-edged sword, the close slash, the Slayer close slash coming to get you, and the It's Late, and everything, get me out of here, 50 meter to just make him stop, make this bearded fucker stop. And now, mix-up time, into a throw this time. I believe this is the first time that, oh! First time that they played the throw, and then into this one. We saw this in the very first game. Skip to the other side, and then fully charged 5D. Now, that layer requires a lot of respect from your opponent. If they're trying to jump out, if they're trying to press buttons, all of those will get caught, as you might imagine, because, you know, the fully charged 5D is quite slow on startup. But cashing out on the... How should we put this? Because a lot of the time, bike and mix-ups are quite tight. So you often won't find yourself to be able to press a lot of stuff. So you, of course, try to be the safe player that you are and respect the mix-up. And then you get caught by something like something nasty, dirty, like a fully charged 5D. Oh, nice this time. Mox was able to press a button against that guard crush from It's Late. We definitely need more of those. Because Ehmu has been getting away with that guard crush pressure reset too often on grounded. I see. Keep up the pressure. Heavy cavalry follow-up is minus punish on block, which is usually why, when it's dialed into, will have to be combined with the use of 50 meter. Speaking of 50 meter, not spending it here. I think Mox, in the heat of the moment, has here and there chosen to not burn the RC after the heavy cavalry follow-up. But it's very understandable. It's like you only have so much attention to what is going on the screen, and sometimes the resources are not your priority to be looking at when you have to worry about so many other things. Right, switching positions, that was a very value instant air dash. Missing the combo though. Those juggles between heavy cavalry and its follow-up are sometimes a little tough to pull off. Deflect shield, oh no, the close slash! The anti-air ballistic missile that is close slash from Slayer. Break it, have to take the soft one this time, and now Mox has a lot of meter. We could be, I was about to say, we could be looking at an air super here. Nice prediction here, came up, but finally completely cleanly stopped by the heavy cavalry. And again, same situation, plus frames, pound straight into the close slash of Mox's. Instant air dash, doesn't quite get there, so Ehmu opts to not press the button. Was that plus? Mox thought it was. Escaping the situation, that is definitely plus for Ehmu! And a good confirm to the pile bunker as well. Had 50 meters to combine with that as well if they just wanted to reset the pressure for good measure. Went into a low, Ehmu, not wanting to take the mix-up. Bursting out of it immediately. That was a nice instant air dash, completely avoiding the fireball function that is the heavy kabari. And now, 1, 2, 3. Who has the biggest muscles through the wall? Looking for one more hit. However, Mox has the resources, but do they have the time to spend it? Again, up backing out of it, but Ehmu has the hunt. Ehmu has the scent. He can smell the up back from the opponent, and when there is up back, there is It's Late. It's Late, pulling the opponent back onto the ground, plus frames, builds a shit ton of risk, and that's basically everything that Slayer could ever want. Look at that once again. It's actually surprisingly not as good on normal hit. So if you get a normal hit like that, I don't think you get enough plus frames to run anything significant, probably. Maybe you can get a K-map meaty, it looks like. 2D sliding to the other side. Tried to anti-air with the 6 heavy, however, not the best best anti-air in this game. This time, there we go! There's the Nightless 5K. Ehmu was a little worried about Mox's burst though, so aborting the combo sequence. It's Late. Pushing Mox out of the sky once again to the other side. Any hit is gonna do, you guessed it, close slash. Don't try to jump out. But it's like, it's really hard to not try to jump out, right? Especially if your go-to defensive mechanic that you're usually used to defending yourself with. I mean, in a lot of other matchups, in a lot of matchups where you're not playing against Slayer or Johnny or Nago or Leo or Milia, in a lot of those matchups, like, oh, that thought. Is that a wall slump? Not quite. Mox has the meter. Tried to YRC. Got a blue for their troubles. Overhead. Ehmu will take the safer route here and save the burst for the last round. Now, this is technically a set point here for Mox. Ehmu is gonna need 2 more. Surprisingly, this is, like, considering how much success Ehmu has had, this is still Mox's advantage here. There we go. Normal hit from the It's Late is not gonna go into much. Nice, the 2 heavy reaches so far and catches Ehmu out of the backdash. YRC, don't want to deal with any of those plus frames. Trying to invite Ehmu into tatami. Bar slash works as well. If Ehmu misses the K, there we go! Misses the K mapper once again! Would require Ehmu to probably... Oh, is that gonna be it? No, not quite! Almost the killing stop. Has to respect the tatami that is just going down. Ehmu, 1 hit. If they take 1 hit, it's over. Very spaced, heavy. Kabari follow-up, not punishable enough. Yeah, from that range, I think it's safe, even though it's very minus. 1 hit, the chip damage becomes a problem here. Jump slash from to the other side. It registers as a hit. Burst from Mox. This is literally the last one. Any hit, they know. They've been playing this RPS for the whole game. 6P, Ehmu finds it. Ehmu finds a way to survive with an improbable 6P. I shit you not. Ehmu has had the most clutch 6Ps in this set. Always going into the right direction as well. I mean, arguably, you could say that Ehmu could just swing with close slash there and it would hit as well. But sometimes, or actually no, Ehmu could not have swung with a close slash there. That was the drive by Yozan. So you needed the low profile frames, right? You had the low profile to stay alive. Right, attach the Kabari. Mix up city coming potentially. And then it, ooh, nice angle there. Didn't quite get into position to play close slash pressure. And here comes the pressure from Mox. I mean, of course, Baiken, not the best pressure character. Baiken is more known for her mix-ups. And then perhaps reset the pressure using meter and run another mix-up. And then your pressure is probably over unless they sit still nicely and respect your S-Kabari. But even out of S-Kabari, it's just like, it just resets your pressure. You're not gonna get any big mix-ups. Now, set point position Mox once again. Oh, the Escabari was able to stay outside of the 2 heavy range. Or perhaps the Escabari went active faster than the 2 heavy from Slayer came active. RC into the corner and gets no value for it. This is a big loss for Ehmu. All of those burst resources are gone now. And he has to survive this round against Mox Biken. Mox's burst comes out as well. Slayer, lots of meter, goes into YRC, one of the safer plays. Into, he can see it, counter it, but the counter hit jump D, not the most valuable hit unless the opponent is in the corner. Jumps out of the 2 heavy, switch sides, Ehmu, last chance, last dance, anything, even on block. I think even heavy Kabari on block will knock them out. Do we got the 6 heavy? Ooh, big hit! And a conversion, look at that, Ehmu! The nerves of steel, and even converged, and this will be the last set. There will be no replays after this. Jumps out of the Master Hammer once again, successfully sinking with that jump arc of Ehmu. Jump slash pulls Mox back onto the ground, but the throw, and we're mixing this time. No fully charged 5D goes into the low option. Oh, the physics! How do the physics work? Blast frames from Escabari. Look at this amount of meter from Mox. He has so many options. And the jump slash once again. Caught. Misses the Master's Hammer. RC, no RC to be found. RC on the instant overhead TK Yozan. We still have one more to go. No RC from the 5D. But this pressure reset is not enough! The TK Yozan is not enough! Ehmu still has a chance! It's late! Pull them back onto the ground! Burst immediately! Don't want to deal with any of this shit! Mox can survive potentially 1 stray hit! And speaking of the stray hits, cleave the screen! Yozan from instant air dash won't be able to air this time by Ehmu. So by the skin of their teeth, Mox comes out of this matchup victorious. It was looking very dire for a moment for Mox because Ehmu turned on the heat. Eventually, Ehmu was able to find their stride. But it wasn't enough. It was just barely not enough. What a set. Alright, that's the quality Guilty Gear Strive that I'm subscribing for. Whew, baby. Alright. 3 more matches to go. 2 out of those 3 are gonna be Anji matchups. The first Anji matchup of the evening gonna be YaBoiSpades rocking that signature Anji. And the opponent gonna be Decoy Snail, one of the finest of Netherlands, one of the finest Jacko players, one of the few Jacko players in Europe. Alrighty then. Now I better savor this couple of precious moments to relax my poor little voice. It was quite of a nail biter there. Hard to control yourself when it gets so so passionately even. Alright, so Jacko versus Anji. So there's that eternal conundrum that bullets or projectiles are not as good to spin through for Anji as strikes. Usually when you can spin through a strike, you at least get a guaranteed midare, if not even a close slash starter. But if you spin through incoming minions, it's not only, you know, it tends to be hard timing, because like spin is by no means an immediate instant startup, but also it doesn't guarantee that you get to advance necessarily on Jacko, or that you get past the minions either. It of course depends on, you know, timings and positions and all that kind of jazz. Now in terms of what Anji has gotten recently, recently, Season 3, the Kara the Kara options, such as like Kara Nagiha from other side of the screen, give Anji some amount of jump scare potential and some amount of reach to try to reach Jacko from like ranges that you didn't exactly have before. But as for the efficacies for those kind of Kara movement, Kara shenanigans in this match, I'm not quite sure how well they would work out. But, you know, if they do, you would imagine that Spades is gonna put them on showcase here. Because Decoy Snail is, I think, a very theoretically oriented player. Usually can talk very extensively about just about any given matchup.
Versus Angie. Duel 1.
So you're probably going to expel. I mean, you kind of have to be that kind of a player if you are playing Jacko, because Jacko is very technical, very setup oriented, very set play oriented, very like hard execution kind of a character. So you kind of have to know what you're doing with this girl. Right, here come the minions. Of course, depending on the position, if you don't have your minions out already or ready to be picked up, that could potentially give Spades an opening window to pounce at Decoy. Because you don't necessarily always even have to do Kara stuff. You could just do the good old Fujin, which is a relatively fast startup advancing special move. Speaking of those, 2P not delivering this time. In fact, wait, I think Spades actually poked into the minion, which absorbed the hit, which caused Decoy Snail to be able to whip punish that 2P hitbox with their own 2P. Because Jacko 2P definitely does not go that far as I know. That was a very interesting kind of an RPS situation. Missed the meaty, and YaBoiSpades was ready to turn it around with a back throw. You know it, this is Guilty Gear Strive. And now soft knockdown, instant air dash jump heavy, gets the party started for Decoy. Some sort of a misinput there, I think. Looks really awkward there with that super jump. Fujin, like we talked about, here's the hit. Would Decoy burst here? Decoy is 100 meter, so they do have the juice, but they don't have the energy, they don't have the life. Choosing to go with the safe play here, starting the last round against Spades with burst advantage. Avoiding the butterfly. Ooh, a nice punish. Wow, that 5k reaches mighty far, mighty high. Many characters actually don't have pokes that could reach Anji from that goal. But I mean, if there is one thing that Jacko is good with, it's like the, whatchamacallit, like, her buttons are really good in certain ways. Now, the problem with Jacko's buttons are that they're attached to a kit that is not that's not brushed up, right? So even though she has really good buttons, she can't really often enough sort of capitalize out of those. So the combos and the pressure sequences are going to be very limited. She's usually, like, how she plays, she wants to play with her minions most of the time. Right, Spades goes into a big combo. Is it going to be enough? Yes, indeed. Softy. Little soft eyes stuck to the wall and break them. Nice, the 2K here. I think Spades went for the held version of the spin. Into an immediate overhead this time, although the overhead is not gonna convert into much without 50 meter or a counter hit. Get the throw. Here we go, backstab. Tried to press a 2K there. Wow, what just went straight into the super. But Decoy Snail actually had a slowdown there. Is it gonna reach? No. And Decoy Snail definitely knows that situation, knows that, has probably looked at it on in the lab as well, and got the clean punish. Set up the butterfly. No, you're not gonna get throw today. Spades went for a mighty deep, probably close slasher throw there. And now the minions are with us. Good install. Yes, indeed. Activate the blue one. The red one, not very often used anymore, because if you look at the minion gauge here, even the blue buff gives you a slight guaranteed recovery, constant recovery on the minion gauge, which is basically the function that you are looking for the most with the cheer supers. So regardless of which you activate, it's kind of like the whole shtick of the red one, but red one does nothing else. That was actually a brilliant double jump there. Spades completely whipped with the core. And Deco was able to come down from an angle that was really favorable.
Man. Duel 1.
Right, 1-1. Going straight into the dance. That's what makes it so dangerous to press your good buttons at round start against Anji. He might be spinning, and from that round start distance, he might just spin into a close slash, which would basically be the nastiest punish that could ever happen. Oh, slowing down the frames, not going for the air throw, trying to go for an ground the air anti-air. But Spades out of reach this time. Misses the ender, no worries. We go on. Charge the 5D. Nice call there from Spades. I think a lesser player would just notice, oh, wall break, I have 50 burst. All right, let's take the heart knockdown and spend the 50. But Spades realized that we can actually get the kill without spending those burst resources. In fact, never mind, Spades didn't even have the burst, right? Did he? Did they? Ooh, the F-Shiki! Spades stays standing and blocks it successfully, and then some. We got the hit, we got the conversion, wall break, wall stick not to be found. Overhead also does not stick. Forced to pull out that umbrella once again. It's gonna be the most the hardest hitting combo, or rather the hardest hitting normal that you can break the wall with, unless you have 50 burst or 50 tension. Ooh, and a sweep there from Nagiha. Spades is really good at keeping on the hustle when he gets at range where there is RPS to be had actively. When he gets to like close range spin distance, or perhaps close range distance where you could pounce forward with Hujin, tends to be really good at, you know, RPSing from those ranges and sticking to those ranges, sticking to decoy snail like a shark, a hungry shark, finding a shipwrecked ship. Ooh. Trade, perhaps in Spades' favor. You know, Anji has a pretty good far slash as well. I forgot how fast Jacko's far slash is, but I think Anji had like. Anji have a 10 framer. I think Anji has like a 10 framer. Not a 9 framer though. Or wait, is it a 9 framer? Damn, I completely forgot. Either way, through the ball. Yo! We're going for a raw wild assault? Really? So I think that would call out if Decoy Snail chose to backdash from that round start decision, right? Alright, set up the butterfly. Deflect shield, keeping Spades at a very safe distance here. Is that gonna reach? No. And if the first hit of the parry super whiffs, Decoy Snail already knows. We can take the punish. Speaking of punishes, successful spin here. Ooh, the butterfly actually enabling a longer combo there. And the far slash. The far slash is surprisingly good at, you know, characters who try to low profile against you. So perhaps I'm actually, so I remember Anji far slash can reach a lot of sliding things. So perhaps maybe Anji far slash can actually reach the 2D from decoys, or from Jacko. Could somebody actually confirm that, if you can go under, or rather if you can call those low profile frames with Anji's far slash? Because that's probably something that he can do, considering how much YaBoiSpades is using that far slash, and how little Decoy Snail is using 2D. And this won't kill. Oh, never mind, this will kill. Hello? I think there wasn't too much scaling there on that combo. Perfect timing here. Matches the timing of YaBoiSpades' spin. Now, you can of course easily get a throw punish if you're like moving towards Anji while he's spinning and then throw. But the holy grail of spin punishes is that you time your heavy button and get a big counter hit. It's a little harder, but it's definitely worth the effort if you can do it, like YaBoiSpades did there earlier. Oh, core, perfect angle. Big damage coming through. Red White Assault is going to take it to the corner. The throw. Option select is there with the bigger use of 50 meter. And we survive. Take on the throw and then push the situation. Decoy Snail. Even though YaBoiSpades had a quick spurt of quick sprint there and took a couple of rounds, Decoy Snail still on point, ready to adjust. Or perhaps just ready to play the right RPS options, because this character, Anji, is quite a lot of RPS. Quite a handful in that sense. Minion parry. Ooh, got the gold burst there. So this combo definitely not gonna do too much damage with that defensive modifier. And now, ooh, got the anti-air! Swift positions. Oh, even though you don't get the full amount of hits, that's arguably even better. Getting those hits like so and switching the position mid-air was able to give Spades the pressure position that he needed. 5 heavy catches Spades' backdash, and now the minion pressure. Give a little bit of a distance. 2P pokes one of the minions out of the stage. And the cash out. Very worth it. It's gonna move a Decoy Snail into a decent life advantage here, but YaBoiSpades has that meter ready to go, and one hit could definitely KO Decoy Snail out of it. There's the dash forward throw that we were talking about. In the case, like if you choose to counterplay the incoming spin with a throw, then you don't have to worry about the timing as much. So it's kind of like a easier to pull off play compared to, you know, timing your strikes perfectly. The 2Ps converts into an overhead, and the RC is gonna, oh, missed the loop. But so did Decoy Snail. The solidarity strikes and both players agreeing to drop their sequences. Actually even dropped Spades out of the corner, and now this is surely gonna kill. This is just a B&B combo, right? Right? No! Right? That's the second time at least when Spades actually dropped the combo. Got the spin though and the meter. Ready to smack them in the face. Okay. Lots of drops back and forth. Pasta on the ground, but both players kneeling down to perhaps get a little bit of that, you know, little bit of those remains before the 5-second rule. Right, the minion parry. Actually, the minion parry is an interesting option against spin. I'm not actually sure how the parry interacts with the spin. Guaranteed counter hit if YaBoiSpades gets hit here. 5D tap into big damage. Into the same situation. Ooh, but the timing on that parry super was great. Slow them down to S. Yep, doesn't matter which side you go on. Very nice choice there from Decoy Snail. Remember, with 6P, you kind of have to predict which direction the strike is going to come from if you want to get the low profile frames. With the use of 2S, basically covers both sides for Jacko. Right, got the hit, but not the confirm. However, from the follow-up situation, quick confirm into Elysian Driver. Gonna do very decent amount of damage, and then into the zoning position. Nice break on the throw. Will be able to, ooh, or could be able to block that incoming jump D. But then, there is too much distance in the end. And no spins to be had. Decoy Snail on the hunt. Trailing very closely to Spades. But as long as Spades has a little bit of a, you know, has the score advantage here, should be sitting fairly comfortably and perhaps playing more of the more risky plays if he so desires. It was a good idea, but the jump D preventing Ko from going active. I think no matter what strike is gonna come through, Ko will beat those, but projectiles are a completely different kind of a deal. Whip punish with a throw or dash throw on that far slash. YaBoiSpades finding the string. Now, super important point here. If Spades gets this game, it will get very, very uncomfortable for Decoy Snail, but looking like we are not ready to give this close chase away just yet. Spades with full burst, 50 tension, 2P knocking on the doors. Gets a counter hit, 6 heavy, because I think that was not a true block string. Rather, true combo string. Right through the wall. Now this time Decoy, oh again that micro walk back makes Spades swing a miss. And then the whiff punish. Going with the fundamentals. Kinda was looking for it again, but not feeling it this time. Jump D whips, making Spades land from a very opportune jumping angle. The neutral jump in the corner though. Perfect weight there. Waits enough frames until the parry super is actually not active anymore. That's a sort of a mistake that a lot of players make, that they can't gauge the active frames of that parry super. Immediate red wild assault once again. That's you rarely see many characters go for those raw wild assaults. It kind of depends on what character you're playing, because those hitboxes are wildly different. Some characters have actually like massive amount of reach and disjoint on their red wild assault. And I think Anji might be one of those. Maybe. Won't be able to dash through the jump D. The minion is still behind you, so there's no place to be had for Spades other than block. But of course, in a lot of these situations, you wouldn't love to block, especially when you don't have no life to spend whatsoever. That was basically a checkmate. If you block, well, first off, you block the minion, and then there's potentially more minion commands, and you have to, you know, FD more to be able to defend against the chip damage. And if you don't, well, you're just dead. Nice. Sees the dash forward, or rather the spin forward, and gets a throw. Early burst here to maintain this spacing position. Had an opportunity to run under, but still, but instead just stays there and waits for the perfect timing. Now, anti-airing, grounded anti-airing against Anji is kind of tricky, because Anji can use jump D and hold his momentum in the air for a while. So if you miss your 6P, you might go in too much recovery and get punished on the way down, or when Anji is coming down. Right, dancing forward, RC, give up the pressure, YRC for the red one. And that buys you exactly +10. Able to offer Decoy Snail a frame trapped string. There we go again, the back walk, and then the dash forward with punish that far slash. Activate, blue is the color again. So Spades will not be able to do against anything against these minions. Is it still active? Yes. Wait. Yes. Okay. I was like, does the cheer actually persist between the hits? Oh, the option selected. Oh my god. I mean, there was an option to go for the air throw, and that's guaranteed. But Decoy Snail wanted to have a little bit of extra there. So they went for the 2S, and just in case the opponent is nowhere to be had, or rather, if the opponent tries to burst there, then the PRC will just option select. That was a great sequence. And you might as well, because the opponent was on their last leg, so if even on block you would get just, you know, better pressure out of that 2S. Right, good combo starting this round for Spades. spent a lot of resources on that though, and oh, okay, but caught the backdash from Decoy Snail. Combo plus frames from Ichishiki Shin, another one, and the swipe. Probably thought that the third Shin might be coming. So was trying to jump out, hold up back, and that's when the, what's it called, the Nagiha hits. But now looking like a good pressure sequence, has the 50 meter as well. Gonna spend it on the cash out, so we can potentially go into this situation once again. Spades is very close to building that full blue burst. But there's a question here. Are we gonna save it for last round, or next round rather? Shin hitting from behind, kind of looking situation. Dancing into the minion, but again, oh, okay. No, hard bait. Decoy Snail delays it just a little, gets a gold for their troubles. And YaBoiSpades falls straight into the minion. Of course, at this point, Spades not willing to go for any sort of a hero burst. Rather, tries to make the hero maneuver happen by spending the 50 tension on that parry super, which is the better call-up overall. The safer play for sure. Shin hits the ankles of Decoy Snail, won't allow Snail to get out of there. And the super, fan it all out. 50 meter ready to go for the reversal super if they so desire, and very close to full burst as well. No, the spin catches the YRC, and this burst will actually work out. This was actually good timing here. So YaBoiSpades will lose that 50 meter altogether. To the other side, yes, we got the punish, set it up. From which side, left, right, is the question. The sandwich minion from the side, even though Spades hit the minion on the front, the minion from the back is coming in with a vengeance. The mash 2 PP though, has to respect this. Yeah, there was no backdash out of that. So this is a very, very common sequence where if you touch the spin frames of Anji and you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna get caught. You can still PRC out of it, and depending on the spacing and depending on the frames, you could try to backdash, but at that close range distance, probably wouldn't have been able to do it. Oh, the far slash. However, doesn't combo the follow-up properly. That was on a counter hit as well, so I wonder if that was just a late hit confirm. Tap on the 5D, and the minions are there to back it up. Cash out, lots of damage coming through. That was a little bit of risk as well. Ooh, interestingly, that does not break the wall. What gives? There's probably some sort of black sorcery there, or was that just simply too far away? Ah, the backdash hits. Oh, it's a big damage combo, and end it with the super. Either character's game still. YaBoiSpades, hard knockdown, looking for that one hit. This is gonna whip? Question mark? No! The hitbox is far enough. And since that is a hit crab nowadays, it will also extend upwards. So all hell, Season 3 changes. Not sure what the consensus is from Jacko players, whether, you know, moving from a complete command crab for the super to a hit crab instead was a, you know, net positive or not, but I mean, working out this time. Avoiding the Ichishiki Shin once again. Set up the sandwich. Lots of good starters. And the throw, yep, should be it. Decoy Snail once again finds themselves in a leading position by just a little bit. But no means is this game over. Spades only needs 2. And they've been going back and forth, and we know the potential of, oh my god, did Decoy Snail just try to whiff punish the bar slash with a fully charged 5D? Are we May now? That's hey, that's Zidine's tech. You can't steal that. Right through the wall. Knockdown of the hard kind. Let's see how hard this pressure is gonna be. TK overheads this time. Snail had enough frames to jump out of it, but still landing into the pressure sequence of Anji's. So far, so good for Spades. We need to survive this game. Oh, tried to go for the far slash, or rather the close slash. The close slash was what Spades wanted, but the far slash is too slow to punish there, I believe. It's very, very tight spacing kind of a game with these Suigetsu no Hakobis from Anji. Alright, it is minus that low follow-up of Fujin, but when well spaced, there is no true punish to be had. The sandwich. We have the minion gauge as well. Slowly. Alright, I think this will not break the wall, right? Too far? I mean, we don't need to break it to get the round. And Decoy Snail. First set point. Meets the midway. Big counter hit. 5 heavy. Immediate burst from Spades. And now goes for a backdash shimmy. Decoy Snail not reacting this time. In fact, the tool of choice is the neutral jump. Ooh, soccer kicks out of the air. Starting off that sequence really fast. And YRC eliminates both minions. Decoy Snail ready to go with a fuzzy throw. So the throw is countered. I think the minion parry did counter the spin this time. So is it just hard-coded to beat it? And gets that throw. Sees the spin. And with the slow down frames, that's not even a thing. Decoy Snail sees the opportunity to win the round right there. And they do. And they do. Alright, good hustle once again, and Spades, even though not getting there completely at the end, making it extremely interesting as per usual. Spades, one of those players who usually don't play anything worse than 5-7, even in defeat. 5-7, 4-7, something like that. Never losing by too much. And now the interesting one. So we have our East Coast US versus West Coast Europe. Florida to UK match here. Let's see if our competitors are ready to rock it. I think I saw Jazz in the chat earlier. And I think HiWill also said that the connection seemed like it was good when they did the test. So, should be a game. Should be a game indeed. Alright, so bed mirror. I think we haven't had this before. And you can definitely see the theme that that Ultimate had in mind here. Something, something, let it rip. A very important tool that Beyblade in the pressure and the combo game. I believe the Beyblade is the follow-up that gives you the best deja vu, sorry, not deja vu, the best error. Wait, which one is it? It's the Beyblade gives you the bomb, right? And malfunction gives you, or is it the other way around? Malfunction gives you explosion. No, Beyblade gives you the explosion, and malfunction gives you the bomb. All right, got it. That's actually gonna serve me well going into this commentary. Watch me forget it though. It's definitely one of the so the thing for me is Bedman is of course a legacy character, but the Bedman version in Strive is very, very different from Exert Bedman. Kinda same, but very different. Used to have the deja vus, which would just basically repeat the same action as a projectile in the past. In this version, you get very specific follow-ups for doing your special moves. And they always start from Bedman himself, or themselves itself. So let's actually add colors as well. So Jazz was white, or other way around. It's Jazz with Jazz with the white, and HiWill with the yellow. And flip them around. There we go. All right. So this character Bedman, lots about, you would on an initial glance think that this is a zoning character, but not really. This is a character that wants to activate his error with any sort of special move and then sneak into close range pressure and then try to loop the guard crush pressure. Kind of becomes a mini Gold Lewis in a sense, as soon as you can sort of activate your conditions. Oh, Wild Assault and Wild Assault action! However, HiWill was the one that activated the Assault later, meaning extending their own input frames further, or longer rather. Bar slash into Beyblade was hoping to build! Jazz was hoping to build into that 50 meter that they would have eventually gotten for the positive bonus to RC. Because remember, RC on that Beyblade does give you that that ever so important error follow-up. Unfortunately, the tension just didn't come in time. There we go, charges up the malfunction, giving access to the bomb, and here we go with Flow, the guard crush loop. Nice moves from Jazz, knows where to jump out, finds the hole. I mean, if there is... Oh, that's a punish, though. Jazz is holding onto that burst, though. As for now, YRC from Jazz. Good backdash there. RPS against the White Wild Assault. However, with Will's Wild Assault finds its mark into the bomb. Keep them steady. Got one more to go for this hard knockdown. Ooh, spent the blue RC, I think in response to perhaps RCs or reversal supers from Jazz. Trade, neutral. However, Will is definitely in the more precarious position here. And who was it? It was Jazz who got... No, wait, it was HiWill who got the round. Wait, these are wrong. The colors are wrong. Damn, that makes sense. I was like, wait, this doesn't make any sense. Jazz is yellow and HiWill is white. All right. Sorry about that. That was a massive mix-up. Oh yeah, because I flipped the sides, like my brain. Sorry about everything. I'm just a TO. Well, either way, Jazz opening it up 1-0 in a little bit of a chess match here. Even the first game took quite a while, and it's understandable. It's two characters, rather the same character that does not have the highest damage output. And considering both of these characters should know how the character functions, they shouldn't be opened up immediately against the pressure loops of Bedman either. So you would argue that these games probably are gonna last for a decently long time. Here we go, activates the explosion follow-up earlier. 6 heavy rings true and big damage. Wasn't able to activate the super, so this is a soft knockdown, unfortunately, for Will. Activating the install, though. Did he have a... Yeah, he had the HUD. So basically, this is a loop that Jazz just cannot challenge in any realistic way until there was enough distance between the two characters. However, the massive damage coming through with that install super, that was massive, massive value for HiWill. I think like the holy grail of Bedman's install supers is if you manage to get one of the better errors, so the bomb, so the explosion or the bomb, then you activate, then you can guarantee one of those is gonna come out. So technically, if your opponent tries to advance on you, they will just get combo breakered by the guaranteed follow-up coming out. Unless you are not in the, like if you are not in the know, the install super basically makes it so that the follow-ups guard crush, but also the follow-ups are guaranteed to come out. Like here, there's nothing that Jazz can do. These follow-ups will activate eventually. Yep, that's why he's respecting so much. The bomb, I think, didn't make it quite there. So your go-to, what you would love to do is build enough distance between yourself and Bedman, so that the follow-ups, the errors, won't be able to reach and won't be able to loop any longer. HiWill takes one game of his own as well, so starting out relatively even. Really gonna be super important which player gets into that guard crush loop first, usually. And especially having your opponent in that loop without their burst resources. Speaking of burst resources, what players trying to swing with the blue or the white one? Oh, the fully charged overhead. Or I'm not sure. Wait, I'm not sure if that was fully charged, but you know, 6 heavy still. Overhead is an overhead. Tried to. Oh, okay. Wait, it kind of looked like a moment that Jazz was trying to challenge there, but then ended up blocking in the end. Stands up for the 6 heavy overhead. The other problematic thing is this special move, the malfunction, that is generally gonna provide plus frames for Bedman. And not only that, but also activate the, give you the better follow-up as well. Frame trap with the use of Wild Assault had enough frames to fully charge the 6 heavy, and I think the 6 heavy fully charged is plus frames. Not sure if it's the uncharged version is. Finds the hit and a quick conversion. Yep, use burst instead. Valuing the tension here. Let's see if HiWill. Yeah, he's just gonna hold on to that burst for now, because it's gonna be a massive advantage going into the next round by having a, you know, skip the neutral stock that your opponent doesn't have yet. Regardless of if you use it or not, because like, as they say in, you know, ancient China, it's not the existence of the tool all the time, but the threat of the tool. And in that same manner, you could argue that having access to, having White Wild Assault ready really puts the fear of that tool into your opponent. Speaking of that tool, here we go into a combo. It's quite prorated, so not getting a kill combo here. Back throw. Here comes the reversal super from Will, but it's so slow. One of the slowest reversal supers in the game. So Jazz is able to pull off with a successful, safe meaty, safe jab, if you will, of sorts. Safe Jazz? Huh? Dab. Here we go into the Magneto's 9, what is it, 8, what do they call it? Magneto dash? 8-way dash? Either way, Jazz moves on to the leading position 2-1. Right, not too bad taking the White Wild Assault airborne, as it does launch you quite far away. Just didn't quite manage to combo into the bomb error here, but projectiles meeting each other this time. The angle was better for Jazz. The tracking is fairly good, but from some angles it's a little limited. I think it was from, I forgot. It's from certain angles and certain spacings where it's way easier to trick the tracking of the spike and its follow-up to, you know, to land. But if that shield is gonna put decent amount of distance between the two gentlemen and make the error width as well. Jazz still gets in there, fights the combo, finds the loop. I know Jazz is... Oh! The cancel here. Jazz had the better one. And hit from the combo. This will lead into a loop. Guard crushes coming in. Deflect shield, get me out of this. And the deflect shield wasn't enough, unfortunately. Especially since Jazz had the bomb still ticking. And from that angle, it's gonna send the bomb forward and prevent you from hitting any buttons afterwards. Ooh, footsies into... Got a good combo, drop it, but we are instead going into the guard crush loops. Oh! Didn't have to follow up. And the throw! Oh my god, are you kidding me? We got the high level counter plays. I guess a White Wild Assault user would know how to counter White Wild Assault. And Will is definitely a player who loves to use that tool from neutral position. So perhaps based on the 4 games that they've played so far, Jazz was able to figure out that that was one of the options that could come out at that given time, at that given moment in that kind of RPS situation. Very brave bar slash, presses it before the bomb ahead goes through. We are still in the loop with DJ Bedman. Get the wall crunch, wall break. At the 50 meter, and now looking for any potential hit. Stagger pressure, 2K into far slash. Works for me. Works for me, Chief. With 6P, knocking them down. Went a little too close there. There we go, that was the timing. But I think that it's not necessarily a problem with spacing, but I think timing could be an issue as well, because if you get a perfectly timed, fully charged malfunction as a meaty, then it doesn't matter what the spacing is, because throws in Guilty Gear Strive are 2-frame startup after all. Here we go with the use of that install super. We are procuring the left corner here. The bomb goes through, very respectful. Expecting HiWill to perhaps press something. Get the throw. We are still in the loop. Especially after this RC. I guess, you know, unless you OTG with the Beyblade out of the throw, you won't have a error going into your follow-up pressure. But of course, you know, with the 50 meter, you can always fix that issue by going into Beyblade RC. Here you go. I see, deemed that the malfunction landed from too far away, so opted to skip back into Jazz's defense with that White Wild Assault. However, the back throw, once again, Jazz had pretty keen senses on when to go for those back throws, and they've been working out pretty well. 6P, low profiles under that spike. Here we go. Delays the follow-up, I think because Jazz wanted to keep the corner pressure for just a little while longer. The bomb going into a complete wrong direction, unfortunately, coming down with the jump D conversion as well. Is that a kill? Not quite. But it might be Will, unless the 6P is on point. Will tried to go for a jump D as well. It's like, fuck, man, I'll do this too. But that time, Jazz was just completely ready to counter it. I mean, once you see a Bedman player go airborne like this, you know it's probably gonna be, like, the most common option is there's gonna be a dive down with that 8-way dash. And if not that, then it's gonna be the jump D. We'll charge 6P into. We still have the follow-up. The bomb. Perfect spacing there. Jazz moving forward, but knew that the bomb is not gonna bounce far enough away, so I can completely safely stand on this spacing. The malfunction whips, but does give Will the incoming follow-up, although the bomb has very limited range. RC going into the mix, delays the follow-up because he wants to have it for this one. And the fully charged malfunction once again. Lots of plus frames. Will smartly going airborne. Both of these players know. I think this is probably the secret tech. Use a lot of FD, try to make them push them away, and then jump away. when the bomb follow-up is coming. Because that bomb has very, very limited range, and if there's any distance between you... Oh, but that follow-up reaches way further! Tried to deflect shield, but this time, you know, Jazz had the better one queued up. Which one is better though? I think the bomb guard crushes by default, and the other doesn't. So there's a little bit of a like give and take. RC. And good mash there. I think if you set that sequence perfectly, then there shouldn't be a way for your opponent to get a mash in there. But I mean, I'm not a bedman expert, so you know, HiWill knew something and was able to extract value from it. Now guard crush loop. Here it comes. Backing up, so there is no punching into me. Jazz doesn't have a burst ready to go, so HiWill is gonna take this round happily. It does mean that Jazz will go into this last round with a little bit of an advantage in terms of the burst. So White Wild Assault is available and will use it. Plows straight through HiWill's neutral and into the loop. Here we go, counter hit from the 2 heavy. Ooh, but that was not the biggest cash out. I think the tricky thing is if you score a straight hit as bedman while you're expecting to loop pressure, sometimes if you don't feel, oh nice, look at that, Jazz throws the White Wild Assault again. What a gamer! Into the bomb, tries to throw, nobody home. But there was no response from Will either. Oh, making sure that the guard crush hits. Hello, where are we going? I wonder if Jazz was trying to activate the 8-way dash there and didn't get the, what is it? Is it the up input? The double jump input, what puts you in that state, I think? Damn, Jazz looking good. Real good here.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Like, especially the neutral, I think Jazz just has a couple of extra like tools up their sleeve, such as like being able to throw that White Wild Assault on reaction in some occasions. Or I'm not gonna speculate whether it's on reaction or not, but regardless, it's a really impressive feat to be able to do that. Right, Will once again, the 2P interrupts the loop. Knew that there was gonna be a gap there this time. Very valuable interrupt. No 6P. RC, keep it going. I think the error actually whipped from HiWill. Nice reaction again. Jazz just has the universal mechanic RPS on point. As soon as Will used the deflect shield, Jazz was ready to unleash the counter option. Use my own 50 burst to go for the Wild Assault, which will basically just counter the opponent's meter usage. But here we go, Will with the plus frames. YRC to counter hit this time. Counter hit from... okay. Still gets around with it. So the timing of the cancel on your 2 heavy is very crucial in a way. Because like if you let it rip, of course it's like not very plus. But then again, the opponent is bedman and this is not a non-DP character as well. So you're not gonna have as many worries as against, you know, say against like Sin or Soul or what or have you, Leo. Right, into the pressure. Are we gonna spend the RC? Yes, indeed. Deflect shield just pushes Jazz away just enough. But as soon as we left, we in there. Here comes the guard crush. Queuing up for another one. Trade definitely not in HiWill's favor, but I mean, you can't just sit still and let the opponent loop it. You need to be challenging, just like Gold Luis, you know the deal. The guard crush loop characters, you need to challenge at some point. The charge malfunction once again, lots of plus frames, but Will was able to activate. So even if Jazz gets hit here, the follow-up will not go away, right? And slam. Wham bam. We're moving to the 6 points. After that initial point that Will was able to get, it's just completely been Jazz's domination, generally from a pressure position. Right, immediate burst, preventing Will from being able to build that win condition. But now, since Will doesn't have burst for himself, his guard crush loop. Oh, that was dirty! At the just before landing, goes for the delayed or the delay error command and transfers it into, or goes into throw from that instead. 6B, no 5B, even better! More damage, baby! Oh, these are so dirty! Is this the bedman play? Is this the bedman play that we're just lacking in Europe for the most part? Minus just a couple of individuals. It's been a while since I've seen like this variety of bedman stuff. Here we go. Sees the burst coming. And this could be the last moment for Will. Able to block the delayed overhead jump D. But it's not over. One more follow-up. Ready to go. Delays it. And activates. This will persist past the wall break. But never mind. The wall break is not gonna matter. For the kill happens here. Will goes down 7-1 versus JazzPanther. Our first time player from the US. My God. There was a lot of stuff here to process, like new stuff, like especially how Jazz used the jump D. There was a lot of like jump D into delay error shenanigans, or jump D from very like fast-paced situations and all sorts of stuff. I guess that's high-level bedman for you. When we're talking about such a rare character, and when you just don't get to see these sequences very often, it can really catch you off guard. Even I wonder, even for Will, because like, how often do you get to play the mirror in the European region? Probably not very often. Good stuff, dude. They indeed let it rip. Let me tell you that much. Right, we are at the precipice. The final one of the evening is gonna be Pokey, representing the German FGC. It's gonna go against one of the finest of Finland, Matiibo Sol. Now, Matiibo is such an interesting competitor because even though Matiibo is not quite there at the top level of play in Finland when it comes to, you know, being able to take tournaments, extremely up and coming. It is like not a new player to Guilty Gear by any means, but I think Matiibo just at the start of Strive didn't end up playing too much, so he's kind of like late to the party. But making up for the lost time extremely fast. Matiibo is a player that has very, from my experience, very good work ethic. So when he's on the grind, he tends to develop extremely fast. And that's kind of what we've seen for the past like couple of months. I think Matiibo hasn't lost a single game on his Sol. Let me make sure that's true. Actually, no, Matiibo did lose against Strelitzia 2 weeks ago, right? But other than that, it's like 1, 2... Yeah, since Matiibo came back from the hiatus, he's had 3 games, out of which, of course, he lost 1 to Strelitzia, the latest one. But, you know, it's definitely, you know, one of those matchups that you might not be ready for. If it's one of the more standard characters, I would imagine that Matiibo has decent amount of experience and decent amount of, you know, bullets in the gun ready to go. now. We got Matiibo. What about Pokey? Oh, said that he is on his way. All right. So destination Damage City here. Just a couple of minutes. Two characters that deal a lot of damage, of course. So the most archetype, get in and brawl. Far Slash, that is plus. The only character that has that feature along with Slayer. But unlike Slayer, this character has the mobility, has the normal dash, can relocate themselves on himself on a moment's notice. So much easier to get into that prime striking position with this one. Anji is a little less standard character with a twist. I think the... Does Anji usually favor characters that try to poke at you from far away? Is it actually working against Anji that you are fighting against somebody who wants to be close and personal? Because you kind of want to be close and personal too. I guess we'll get answers to these questions and more as we head in. Straight into the shin, plus frames, again. Able to barely hit it. Try to find a whiff punish there on the Bandit Bringer. Not quite getting it. Far Slash swings a miss on, 5B. Big cash out, yep, Matiibo knows. 6B, we probably let it rock. 5B, no, not so, no sir. That would have been a wall break and then some. And a nice pickup from the Butterfly as well. Sort of guaranteed Oki there. 2S, yeah. Anji has a surprisingly good S buttons. The Far Slash, you know, if you are facing a character who has a better Far Slash or read more disjoint and further range than you, then your Far Slash ain't gonna be like very significant. But in a matchup like this where Sol doesn't really have a standard Far Slash. Sol's Far Slash is more like for brawling and close range pressure. I think in a matchup like this, Anji's S buttons are actually gonna be pretty okay. Even perhaps giving Anji the active range advantage. I mean, Sol of course has 6S, but it's kind of a limited tool, limited in usability since it's nerfed. Look at the damage though. There we go, the Far Slash. Would Matiibo burst though? Let's see. Not believing in the wall break, but at all. Goes for the jump over very late Bandit Bringer, delaying the momentum, coming down with a slam. Even on block that would have killed, I think. Nice counter hit conversion. Goes into the Kara, what is it, Garanaki-ha, is it, that you combo into? Speaking of the Karanagi-has, skipping past the screen. The jump scare. RC, yeah, that was pretty close, so could have potentially been punished. But getting punished at the end still. Counter hit, close slash, here we go. Here's where the party starts. Tries to get a throw. And a perfect angle for Boki on that neutral jump. Delayed DP, catching, get onto the ground. That Fafnir without FD on the opponent, building a mighty amount of risk. And here we go, gets to cash it out. Is it gonna be enough? No wall stick, unfortunately. So no kill, and now Pokey perhaps has the advantage. Never mind, here comes the BB with the RC. Pokey not getting to use any of that meter, and Matiibo opens it up. Surprisingly decent amount of Bandit Bringers so far for Matiibo. Misses the air throw, as you do. Matiibo, of course, primed and ready for those air throws, being an OG Guilty Gear player from the Exert days. Ooh, what a whiff punish, puts a 2S out there. That's gonna be one of the premium neutral heavy makers, or playmakers rather, for Sol. That and 2D, although if you want the superior, you know, whip speed and disjoint, then you usually go for Sol 2S. Mistake from Pokey. Could still procure it. YRC, let's see, not counter hit, unfortunately, so no big conversion. Calls out the throw, and then goes for a throw himself. Oh, Matiibo went for an empty jump into something, but Pokey not buying it this time. Good attempt though. Was able to bring it from left corner to the right one, and was looking for basically one more hit. Nice conversion into close slash Oki. Delaying the cancels. But Matiibo, DPs into the spin. As one curious way of playing against DP characters. So if you cancel your stagger pressure into spin and they DP into it, you're gonna spin at, you know, maximum or like minimum distance, which means they're gonna fall straight into your close slash afterwards. Right, the conversion, very nice timing. Look at this, Pokey with the delayed burst, putting Matiibo into the corner, but Matiibo fights out, and here comes the pressure, plus frames. Pokey tries to press 2P, and the spacing frame trap from Matiibo. Is this Street Fighter? Spacing traps galore. This is literally what I'm talking about. These are advanced player kind of things. Even some of the top players or upper intermediate players don't have these fundamentals necessarily learned yet. Here we go. Cat dashes the or chases the backdash. Pokey tries to 5B. Nobody home once again. And unfortunately, the second hit of the Volcanic Viper does break the wall prematurely, which means no soft knockdown. Here we go with the DP again. Matiibo OTG 6 heavy is there. Now, Pokey is often talking about the difficulty of playing against DP characters, which does limit your ability to run some of your what's it called, Hujin pressure for sure. Speaking of, there's one. If you have a DP good enough, oh, but here we go. If you have a DP good enough, then I think no matter where you steer on Shin for Anji, good DPs will be able to reach it. For instance, being like one example of how, you know, counter-playing DPs is a little tricky on Anji. There is always an option to go into your low follow-up airtight if you expect their mashing. Ooh, counter hit, here we go. Wall gives away relatively soon. So Matiibo is still... Well, this is basically one hit range if Pokey manages to get a good hit. Where does it come from? DPS. Gets the hit. Get the 6S. That far range Fafnir into 6S combo looks to be kind of difficult, especially since some of the changes. Very low damage super here. Pokey was secretly hoping that it would kill, but it don't. Here comes Matiibo. One hit. Pokey has the burst, but are they gonna use it? Oh my god, what the fuck was that? What is that? The FRC from the... Okay, so the Bandit Bringer, the delayed overhead, then the FRC, another overhead. I didn't block it either. Jesus. Right, Pokey with the combo. 5B, the bait out the DP. No punish though. Get the wall break. Choosing to use burst this time around, so this is usually a sort of like a... I think that makes sense on Anji. Anji thrives on meter. Will potential... Oh, yeah, I think Matiibo would have thought that there's gonna be a YRC back after that, but Pokey, instead of reaching for the meter options, was just like, nah dog, I'll just 2P. And 2P mash on Anji is always a always a valuable option. It's one of the furthest, look at that, it's one of the furthest reaching 2Ps in the game. And now, especially with how they changed 6 heavy, I believe is what you can make it combo into without counter hit, right? You also have like, you know... Oh no! The super whiffed! And Matiibo, is that actually gonna be a kill? Not quite. Tried their best. And the 2S counter hit. The S buttons be good. EPRC, that's gonna be more where that came from. Yeah, it was basically a situation where Pokey, if he has to block anything, he's just gonna be done. because then there's option for another DP RC still, or a 5D tap RC, and then you still have to take a mix-up after that. Yeah, it's just too tricky. Shin plus frames. Ooh, sees the escape attempt and the jump K with a good route. Nice. Delay taking the wall crush a little here, but because of that, ended up having to take it with a soft knockdown instead. Matiibo. Again, the 2P. Pressure calling out Matiibo's pressure reset attempt there with the dash in. Or perhaps a throw attempt that was. Nice dash forward, chase the spin, get the throw. And bar slash again. Ooh, Matiibo standing at the perfect distance. Look at that. That's one way to deal with the backdash. If you think your opponent is gonna backdash, they probably will try to play their option after or immediately when their backdash finishes. So just stand at a spacing where their option will whiff. Wall break. Is gonna be there. Is it gonna be enough though? Anji is a tough boy. Yeah, those guts, Japanese guts, and the defense rating working. Ooh, that did look like Matiibo was trying to go for the Gold Buster. I'm not sure if it was a conscious choice from Matiibo or not, but they kinda had the right idea there. Air blocking that Gold Burst will sometimes put you in a position where you might be able to punish them on the way down. Alright, finds a 2S, immediate burst from Matiibo, still wants to play there, leave the 2S active. I think Poke was trying to spin forward with the active frames and go through. Oh, that's a cool combo. That's a side switch and a half. Forced to take the soft knockdown though. I think Poke didn't have the 50 meter yet. 6P is a tool against far slash pressure of Souls. It calls out far slash, it calls out 5 heavy, it calls out 6S, it calls out a lot of really common tools from Mr. Bad Guy's toolkit. But now working with the combo. Wall break. Spent the burst. Now hopefully, oh, we're going for the juice. We're going for the sauce. Unfortunately, the wall break a little too early again. I think that should be a set play sequence. And the bringer out of there makes it guaranteed so that we're not gonna be punished. Remember, after whipping a bandit bringer, it tends to put the read there. Of course, Matiibo would want to go under. So Poke said that, nah, no vortexes this time and uses 2S. However, keen sense on the burst. Both ways. Now Poke is going to be heading into this last round here without any of their burst resources. It's going to be super unlikely that Poke gets that burst back. They might get one stock of Wild Assault or Deflect Shield, perhaps. I mean, of course, it depends on... Yeah, I'm actually not going to call it out yet. Because if it goes back and forth here, DP... into Fafnir, into plus frames, 5K, presses the fastest possible button. I think I saw the startup of 2P there from Poke, but he cancelled it to FD. Remember, in Guilty Gear Strive, you can cancel the first startup frames into FD, especially in those RC situations where the time is slowed. Tends to be relevant, most relevant in those cases. Well, follow-up blocked. Matiibo staying tight. Backdash, back calls it out with the 2PP and the follow-up into a 6 heavy. Yes, indeed, Poke. Staying on Matiibo's trail like a bloodhound. If there's one tool that Poke has really good sense for using, it is the 2P defensively. I mean, you would say, like, duh, Anji players should have their 2P on point, but once again, Poke just has, you know, there's a big difference when you are the low-level Anji and you're just pressing it, and then when you're a higher level player and you press it in the right places. Like, look at this. One delicate, one precise 2P. No mash. One delicate abare. And no more comes out. Go Matiibo with the pressure. Plus frames out of all of those. Plus 3 on those close slashes, and I believe plus... Is it plus 2 on far slash? Or 3? Is that 3 as well? Here we go, find the big cash out! Here we go! Is Poki gonna find the Yeah, just in the nick of time! Plus frames from Midare. Overhead, Matiibo don't give a shit! Especially since there was 50 meter to combine that with. Even if that DP was spinned or spun through, Matiibo could have RC'd and kept himself safe. Here we go, far slash. Surprisingly, even the... Ooh, counter hit from the 6S. Surprisingly, even though they've buffed how Sol far slash now combos better on airborne opponents, so usually backdashing opponents, Matiibo wasn't able to get any sort of a relevant combo there at the start of that round. 5k a little too early, yes indeed. That's what Jump D from Anji does. It makes you miss, or rather mess up your anti-air timing. Commit, oh, it was a very committal low follow-up. Matiibo was there on 2k range. Although, I wonder what Sol is actually gonna get unless he goes like 2k into... Does 2k 6S doesn't work, right? Anymore? Alright, into a big combo. Matiibo realizes I might be able to get the win here. But the gamble does not pay off, it seems. Or there's still a little more to play. Plus frames from Shin. 5k misses. Poki with the good movements, the backwards air dash there, staying just outside of the 5k range of Sol's 5k. 5k range of Sol's 5k. Good explanation. Good analysis, QCAT. Very good. Alright, again, very spaced there. 2k ain't gonna reach from Sol. Option select. If the throw is jumped or backdashed, we have more where that came from. So very safe pressure. Is Matiibo finally finding the DP spot? Good RC, but I think it's better to save it for the next conversion, because next could be... Wait for the throw a little too early, was it? Poki, and now no burst, no 50 meter. This could be a kill. Matiibo, perfect hit to get the wall stick, and Tyrant, Rave, not enough. Japanese guts from the far east. Poki, double backdash. Matiibo staying very respectful. The burst has to come out. Yep, it was exactly that hit that when it had to happen. Button, 5k, yes, the fastest button that could happen there. Especially since Matiibo landed from that air-to-air exchange a little earlier than Poki. I think there was just no buttons to be pressed for Poki. Especially with the slowdown there. The Karanagi hunt, catching a little leggies there from full screen. Not letting into super much, but hey, it's a tool. It's one of those tools. Counter hit 6S. Here we go. Looping. Do we have the kill? Not quite. Both players at 50 burst. Poki does have that tension advantage, but for how long? Where Matiibo finds the 2k low. 2k is such an important tool from Sol's like basic mid-pedaling pressure, because like 6p is fairly common button to press against Sol, so you often need that 2k stagger pressure to throw off their timing to make it really hard to defend against Sol's pressure. If you just pedal those, you know, plus frame mids, it's not as scary. There's not as much variation. I think on Sol this should kill, right? From this range, even though this super is pathetic in terms of how much damage it does, even from that life range, Sol should go down, right? Alright, Bandit Bringer ain't gonna be punishable unless it's the air version. Still minus though. Roshin, Matiibo chooses the air pass. However, unless you match your jump as the Shin is happening, it's gonna be usually too late to sort of counterplay it. staying very DP safe. There we go. If Matiibo tried to match a DP there, I think Poke would have just thrown it. The long years of having to play this character against DP characters have, you know, taught Poke a lot of really DP safe looking sequences. Here comes the baby though. Go for the early burst, try to push Matiibo towards the corner. However, the S, Volcanic Viper, saving the day. We're moving, oh, the shimmy, shimmy! That should be the killie! Yes, indeed. Probably one of the favorite sequences that you would like to score. Oh, nice reaction there from Matiibo. Gets the throw, and now from that far slash that we were talking about on the airborne opponent, confirms very comfortably, especially on that height. And one more combo to go. Finds the low. There we go. We're talking about the lows. Hard reach. Pokey doesn't bite. In fact, goes for a back throw. DPRC. Oh, that was good. That was good, Matiibo. Matiibo's locked in. And the plus frames? Yeah, fuck your plus frames. God, that was so smart. The air DP to go into the invo frames. Like, if you don't air DP there, you're gonna have to take the strike from Pokey. You have to be pulled onto the ground. You're gonna be minus as hell, and then you're probably gonna lose out of that pressure sequence. Oh, far slash counter hit. Here we go. Chooses to cash it out. Has the burst, so we can wall break indeed with a hard one. And then looking for one more hit. Throw is good as well. Yeah. Told you. Told you. Ooh, that was a very delayed low follow up there, catching Matiibo. Perhaps trying to, I don't know. I guess we'll never know. Fuzzy jump catching with that is definitely a thing, and I know Matiibo is an enjoyer of the fuzzy jumps. Now, unfortunately, Matiibo poking into the Gachol who gets that. That's gonna break the wall as well. Big momentum for Pokey. He definitely needs this because Matiibo is on technically set point here. Will certainly not spend that burst in a hero manner. We still have one more opportunity here. Puts out a couple of gun flames. Yep. Goes with the safer follow-up. Just knocked down with the fish. Ooh, 2K, but again, 2K that range, I think so, like we said, probably can't get anything. Because 2K 2D would just whiff. Found the hit. Cash out. Could it be enough? Volcanic Viper? No, almost. Even with the clean hits. But now any hit will end the round. 6B. Oh, that was good. Matiibo is presenting an option at Pokey. What are you gonna do? I will keep instant air backdashing and hitting my very protected button. It's your call, your place to call it out. Pokey had one good hit there with the 6B, but Matiibo was like, I still have health. Can you do it again? Can you do it 2 times? Can you do it 3 times? And the answer at that time was no. Pokey wasn't able to pull it off. Respect the hustle though. That was another fairly even match. But Matiibo with the fundamentals and the footsies and all the buzzwords that we tend to attach to players who are kind of good. And stuff. Alright. Good hustle, boys. That should be it for this week of Bounty Hunters. Lots of even matches once again. Let's see if... What time is it? So it's a little past 9. So I believe that usually means that... the whatchamacallit, the gender cross-up is usually on at this very moment. There is also, if you wait, there was another tournament today as well. Was it Honden? Was Honden today? Because they had a Honden is going on at the moment as well. It's a coin flip. I guess since we don't often... We usually raid at this point, we raid the gender cross-up. Let's go for a... raid on Pap's channel instead this time around. What's the channel underscore that? Okay, well, that is it. If you want to join next week, you know what to do. You can join my Discord. The sign-up forms will be posted over there. And we'll set you up with, hopefully, a player of your skill level with a decent connection match as well. So we're out for now. See you next Sunday. QK out. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of the rest of the Guilty Gear evening going on Twitch.tv. Bye bye.